Markets is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm James Palmer.
And I'm Steve Weich, and we're your host of the new podcast, The NFL Report. Twice a week, every week, we'll use our decades of experience covering football to pull back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins.
The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio. We're heard everywhere around the world on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, so you can join us in the chat for an Overreaction Monday.
And man, do we have a lot of overreactions today.
There are. There are a lot of overreactions. We'll get to all of them throughout the program today. You've got one, throw it in the chat with us here. How was your weekend, Jeremy? You went to see Bert Kreischer?
Did. Very, very. He's a funny man. He is a real funny man. This special is going to be a little edgier if any of the things I heard are in the special, which he said they would. It was a good time. Greenville's always a good time. It's a really straightforward city. You stay in a hotel, you walk about a quarter of a mile, and you're done.
Yep.
And I missed my god-awful New York Jets from like halfway through the third quarter on. Yes. I watched the rest of it because I couldn't help it. You know why? Because I have I'm a masochist or something, and I have to see it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to watch your team even when they stink on ice, and yours apparently does. Jets plus 9.5. Let's go.
That was stupid. Yeah. That was, of all the stupid things we said, and trust me, there were a lot.
Hey.
That was the stupidest.
I felt okay about that at halftime. They were covering. It was within the range.
They didn't mean to. There just so happened to be one time that they went, hey, let's just forget Garrett Wilson's on the field and let him just prance to the end zone.
I was hoping they might have another play or two like that in the old coffers, but apparently they did not.
No, because Micah Parsons is a bad man.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that later in the show.
Yep.
I have the most sweeping overreaction that I have possibly ever had in the history of this show.
Okay.
The 2021 NFL draft quarterback class is the worst class in the history of the NFL, and I'm not sure it's even all that close. They were 0-4 this weekend. The fifth one, his team won, but he had as much to do with it as the water boy did. They're all busts. To some level or another, they are all busts. Mm-hmm. Even Trevor Lawrence.
Really? Why?
He's not what he was billed to be. Fact or fiction, he is not what he was billed to be.
Not yet.
3 years in, you would expect that you have gotten to that point. 4 times you got in the red zone yesterday. How many times did you get in the end zone? Against a team that's not great defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I saying he's a historic bust? No, but he was supposed to be a historic prospect. They're fine. I'm not backing off Jacksonville. They had a great chance to win that game. But Trevor Lawrence is not what he was billed to be. By hook or by crook, he is not what you were told he was. He was supposed to be a generational quarterback. Where does he fit among quarterbacks in the NFL right now?
I mean, is he top?
Is he better than
top 12? Maybe.
Oh, he's definitely top 12. He was supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Third year, you have not taken that jump. And Dave in our YouTube chat said the Chiefs' defense is better than most people think. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
You did not do anything yesterday that should have won you that game. Jacksonville Jaguars should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't. You know why? Because they're better coached and Pat Mahomes is a better quarterback. Period.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence was billed to be the savior of this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That franchise is now very good. That defense did a good job of mitigating Pat Mahomes for most of the day. Travis Kelce, I think, had a catch at halftime. And yet you still couldn't find a way to do it. At home, loudest that stadium's been in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find a way to do it. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're not generational.
I still feel like there's a chance that he can make that step. I mean, we felt like he was on the way last year, didn't we?
But have you ever tangibly seen he's on the way? Name me the moment that Trevor Lawrence has had where you went, there he is. There's the Andrew Luck, the John Elway. This is what you were billed to be. I'm not saying he's not good. Mm-hmm. I'm saying he's not what he was billed to be.
He's not generational.
No.
He's not.
And he's just not.
Okay.
Yesterday, he was, I will say he was okay and not the reason they lost. Because he did make a few plays. Mm-hmm. Other than that, 53% completion guy. Pass rush was, at times, you made the pass rush a thing, whether it was or not. And I did not see Super Bowl winning quarterback at any point yesterday. Did you? And I watched every play of this game.
I don't know. I've seen great quarterbacks have bad games before. It's not.
I'm not saying that you haven't.
I think it's way too early to give up on a guy like Trevor.
Did I say I was giving up on him?
No.
But, you're taking what you want me to be saying.
But you are giving up on him. You're giving up on him as far as him being a top quarterback in this league.
Is he ever going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league? Yes or no?
He could be.
I will say no.
Okay.
I will say no because I'm looking around the NFL right now. Is he ever going to be better than Josh Allen?
He could be.
No. No. The high side of Josh Allen, I have never seen from what Josh Allen did yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yes, against a bad Raiders team. I've never seen Trevor Lawrence do it, not one time. Never in his entire career. And I'll even give you a blip year with Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. You've been a real good team now 2 years in a row. And every single time this team is propped up I said they're going to be the 1 seed in the AFC, and I'm still not bagging off that because they're still good, and the schedule is still awful. Mm-hmm. You're not better than Pat Mahomes. You're not better than Josh Allen. You're not better than Joe Burrow. I think you're in that nebulous with Justin Herbert. And that's where you're going to stay because I don't see a path to you getting better.
If the turnovers continue to be a problem with Josh Allen, you don't think there's a chance that Trevor Lawrence ever shows he's better than him?
If you told me right now one of these quarterbacks wins a Super Bowl, the other one doesn't, somehow you go back to the future, I would bet my house it's Josh Allen. Because I see a path of him having 3 games where he is generationally fantastic because I've seen him do it. Trevor Lawrence, every time he gets put into a situation like this, yeah, you can beat the Indianapolis Colts sideways. Whoop-de-doo. C.J. Stroud threw for 3 bills on the Colts yesterday. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that doesn't really move me much. But I look at this game. QBR, 17. Awesome. That's just dynamic. Last year in the playoffs against Kansas City Chiefs, 54.3. Game that they won against the Chargers, 33.6. You can beat the sin out of bad teams. But when you're asked to step up, and look, you may say, oh, you're too early on Trevor Lawrence. This was a decorated college quarterback that played a lot. Mm-hmm. You should have come in and not missed a beat. Joe Burrow didn't miss a beat. You played exponentially more than he did. Pat Mahomes didn't miss a beat. Didn't play his first year. Second year, comes in, MVP. Trevor Lawrence do that?
No.
Bust. Because that's what you were supposed to be.
Okay.
That's what you were supposed to be. That's what Andrew Luck was. He was on awful teams with terrible offensive lines. You can't say that about Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Offensive line didn't beat you yesterday. Defense held Pat Mahomes to 17 points. You couldn't get in the end zone. Had Calvin Ridley in the back of the end zone. Lobbed it. Because that's what you do. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you he's not good.
Shrinks in big moments.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I think that's where he's going to be for the duration of his career. He is a guy that he's great. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Super Bowl winner. You'll
I'm
be
not
in
ready
that.
to
To
call
me,
that
he's
yet.
in that Phillip Rivers tier, and that's where he's going to stay.
I still look at Trevor Lawrence and I feel like he's a guy that's a year behind. He's like that kid that just showed up in second grade and decided I'm not going to do anything all year long, and they were like, well, we really need to hold you back, and then he ends up being the smartest kid in his class. That could be Trevor Lawrence. He had an entire blip year where he had horrible coaching.
Okay, well,
so then Doug
Pat Mahomes
Peterson
had an entire blip year where he didn't play.
So
can you even compare those two?
What?
Do they even belong in the same sentence?
Who?
Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes. Do they even belong in the same sentence?
No.
You were billed to be that guy.
He was.
You're not.
Well, is that his fault that he was billed to be that?
I didn't say it was his fault. Sorry, life's not fair. There's one fair in life, and I just sat in its traffic for an hour, and it has funnel cakes and fairy tales.
But what you're saying is because of our expectations on him, he'll never live up to them in a year and a half of playing actual football for a real coach in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's fine.
They gave you
I am not ready to go there.
And I find it comical that you're not seeing how easy it is for some of these. Okay, let me draw you a comparison. So you're giving me the Urban Meyer thing.
Yep.
The Cincinnati Bengals were more of a dumpster fire than Jacksonville ever thought of being, even with Urban Meyer.
Sure.
There was no talent on that roster whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Joe Burrow came in and was immediately special.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is not special. There's nothing about him that's special. He's never had a game that was special, that was against a team that did anything anywhere. And am I giving up on him? No. That you're saying what you want me to be saying. What I'm saying is he will go down as he was a great quarterback, and he was bar none the best quarterback in that class.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't what you told me he was going to be. And I've thought it since the first time he stepped out on the field. Yesterday was just the confirmation of it doesn't matter what I give you. I can give you a dynamic running back. I can spin on the offensive line. I can throw weapons out here. I can build the defense. You're still not going to beat those high-end guys. And we've seen a ton of quarterbacks do that over the years. There's no shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I look at Trevor Lawrence differently today than I did. Now, then we get into the other quarterbacks in that class. Little cherub Cupid himself, Zach Wilson. We've set the bar so low for him. They had a first down with 10 minutes to go in a half of football. And all people could tell me was, well, he looks better than he did before. Sweet. You know what else looks better than he did before? A car wreck. Trains coming off tracks. That's what looks better than Zach Wilson. Is he why they lost yesterday? No. But he helped. The offensive line is what killed you, and just horrific play calling from Nathaniel Hackett. When your star running back comes out and goes, I had 4 touches. What do you want from me? That's a bad sign. I'm not putting it on Zach Wilson, but he's not an NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Jet fans that think, he could come in here, and there was actually talk yesterday that Aaron Rodgers had some kind of special surgery where he could be back for the playoffs. Well, whoop-de-doo. So he could run laps around a football field where somebody else is playing the playoffs, because it won't be the New York Jets. Trey Lance, I can't really say much about him because his team already gave up on him, and he's a third-string quarterback behind Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields, we're good on that now, right?
Oh, 100%.
We're now good. We all understand. I got duped for about a minute, but really I've been right on Justin Fields since day one.
It took something special. It would take something special for you to have to look at the last possession that the Bears had where he throws the interception at the goal line to Shaq Barrett. How do you do that?
He is horrifically bad.
I'm still trying to figure out what he saw right there. I'm gonna just. I mean,
did you see the all 22 of that play?
No.
There's a tight end that I don't think Todd Bowles, any of the 11 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe half the crowd even knew was on the field. He stares directly at him and goes, no, I want to throw it to that guy because that guy looks sad and I want to make him happy.
He went full rookie of the year, just float it. You remember that movie from when we were kids? I know Jeremy never saw it, but the rest of you did. He floated it. And Shaq Barrett went, "Oh, look at that, a marshmallow.
Oh,
That's mine.
Oh,
Thank
piece
you.
of candy.
Appreciate you."
That's a piece of candy, and I would like to have that, please.
Because I was fully ready. I mean, there's 3.5 minutes left on this clock, and we just went up, and we're going to lose this game. This is how you lose this game by 1 point. You go up by 2, leave them 3 minutes to march down the field, and that's Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. Nope. Justin Fields standing right in the way of that. Going, hold my beer.
Can we have a real honest discussion about Justin Fields, please?
Absolutely.
His QBR in both games of this year, can you take a stab at what the highest one was?
I'm going to go 22.5, Bob.
Right on the money. You got a 22.8 and a 23.1. 50 is what you get for being league average. But that's just a 2-game sample size. Well, I'm glad you said that. Let's go back to the tape. 51.2, 6, 17.3, 34.6, 29.6, 35.9, 38.6, 55.3, 20.3. Now, you scattered a 92.6 in there. Yay. Oh, that was good. Had a 96.2 in there. You never know when they're going to happen, ever. And it tends to be against teams that, oddly enough, can't rush the quarterback to save their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You hit him, and all of a sudden he looks bad. And then we get to the final, the last quarterback in that class. Surely Bill Belichick wouldn't miss on a quarterback, would he? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, bad. The Miami Dolphins did everything in their power to hand you that game on Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
All Mac Jones had to be was but average. You didn't have to be good. You didn't have to make not dynamic plays. You're pulling out some field goal block that I've never seen anybody do in all the years I've been around this game.
It was beautiful.
It was brilliant, and they did it twice. Blocked it once and completely got into Jason Sanders' head the second time because he's looking over going, he's doing that thing again. He's doing that thing again, and I don't know how to block that because I've never seen anybody do that before.
Right.
And it didn't matter.
What do you call that? The jet sweep blitz?
I don't know.
That's what it looked like.
That's one of those where Bill's playing chess, not checkers. I don't know who would ever think to do that. It was beautiful. It was brilliant. And then they handed Mac Jones the ball, and he went, I'm going to pee in my pants now, and then I'm going to sit in my dirty pee pants all night long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on everything except for the Trevor Lawrence thing.
Okay.
Zach
and
Wilson,
look,
Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, we all know they're terrible.
Look,
and they're
Trevor
not
Lawrence
good.
is going to be a starter in this league for a long time. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying eventually, what you started this with was the 2021 NFL quarterback class is going to be the worst ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not close, basically.
Because you have 5.
If Trevor Lawrence ends up being what you say, steady starter in this league, wins a lot of games,
he's going to be super high-end Kirk Cousins.
Is Phillip Rivers, will that not be a better class than what Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones are going to be?
Well, there are only 3 in that class. It was Kyler, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't 5. I have 5 quarterbacks. One that I believe is going to put yes, you did make the Jaguars better. You're not a Super Bowl contender. All right, Jacksonville goes in as the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there is a snowball's chance in Greenville, South Carolina? I was just there. It is the hottest place on the planet. I love it, but it's so hot. Do you think there is a chance he can beat Pat Mahomes, then Joe Burrow, then Jalen Hurts, or whoever else he has to play?
No,
Any shot of that?
Probably not right now.
No. Look at your previous number 1 picks. Joe Burrow. Can he do that? Yeah, he sure can. Yeah, he sure can. And he wasn't even billed to be that kind of prospect. Tua Tagovailoa. Can he do it? Yeah. Justin Herbert, if he had a coach who had an IQ above, I don't know, dish soap.
Wait. You think Tua can do it, not Trevor?
I think Tua has been propped up by a really smart coach. That, yes, he's going to outsmart himself from time to time. And, yes, Tua does some really stupid things. I saw a throw last night that I I still, racking my brain, cannot figure out what in the world did you just see. But we're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins later.
Mm-hmm.
I have a definitive take on who the best team in the NFL is and who the second best team in the NFL is. And you know what? This is probably a perfect time to do that. We've got to pay some bills. When we come back, I'll tell you who those two teams are. And I don't think not one of you can prove me wrong.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Did you know COVID-19 related ER visits are 3 times higher than the flu? Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna, proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
I'm James Palmer.
And I'm Steve Weich, and we're your host of the new podcast, The NFL Report. Twice a week, every week, we'll use our decades of experience covering football to pull back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are back in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's going to have your bangers for the night coming up later on in this hour. He's got a 5 on it in the 4 o'clock hour as well with your big parlay of the night.
It would take $5, $5 US dollars, and turn it into $1,200 US dollars.
Let's hope he gets back on the winning track after a weekend that was not great.
Oh,
not great.
Oh, I looked at my record and just went, "How drunk was I last week?"
You remember how excited he was about that whole week 1 defending champ, beat the Chief, yeah.
And you know what's funny? No matter what happens, I'll still either be tied for the lead or 1 game behind you. After what might be the worst week in the history of picking games.
3-10-1. Not too good.
I could drunkenly have thrown darts over my head and probably have been more accurate than I was this week.
3-10-1 against the spread going into tonight with 2 games left.
Woof.
It's not pretty. I'm winning the week at the moment. 6-7-1. Of course I did.
I'm not so sure you did.
Of course I did. Thank you, Justin Fields, for that. 6-7-1 was is the top mark right now going into the 2 games tonight, and the Chiefs at 5-8-1. Jeremy way back there at 3-10-1.
Yeah, the Chief. There's a possibility that he goes 5-11, not too good, and then goes 5-10-1, not too good.
Ooh. Not great, but it'll be fun tonight, seeing how things shape up.
But wait, what is today?
Today is Monday. It's Overreaction
Monday.
Yep.
Let me give you one that's not an overreaction.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys are the best team in this league. It's not even close.
Okay.
It's not even close.
Okay. Nobody's in the ballpark. I get it.
There's
the last
one that's
2 weeks.
There's one in the ballpark. And you ain't ready for who I'm about to say it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Miami Dolphins.
Really?
Power rankings tomorrow. I'll go ahead. I'll kill the suspense for you. Dallas Cowboys are going to stay 1 because I don't think anybody can beat them right now. Miami Dolphins are 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was the trappiest of trap games ever. Did Mac Jones do everything in his power to make sure you didn't win? Sure did. Sure did. But even with Tua not being great, and he wasn't great, he still found a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mike McDaniel did that one thing that I didn't know he could do. Oh, it's not working with Tua? Cool. Run.
Yeah, commit to the run.
Oh, Bill's going to take away Tyreek Hill, and he did a great job of it. Christian Gonzalez, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Dog. He was my number 1 corner in the class last year. Yeah, and he should have been.
Yep.
Because he is real good at football.
That game proved that there is a counterpunch for the Miami Dolphins. Dare I say they're a dual threat. I got a good laugh out of that yesterday as they were talking about, somebody was talking about Anthony Richardson and Justin Fields. These are 2 of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL. And I went, wait a minute. To be a dual threat quarterback, you have to be able to do 2 things well. And the only way these 2 dudes are dual threat quarterbacks is left foot, right foot. Right?
I heard no
they can't
lies
throw the
told
ball.
there.
Anyway, Miami Dolphins, dual threat. You proved against the New England Patriots that you can run the ball, you can commit to run the ball, and you can win games that way. I'm still just not sure that I've seen Miami or Dallas really be challenged at all.
They were challenged. It might not be from the score. That Jet defense is still every bit as good as I said it was. You leave them on the field for 43 minutes, I don't care how good you are. And still, you only allowed them to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. There were 5 field goals in that game.
By the way,
Dallas.
all those yards that CeeDee Lamb had, do you know how many of them he had on Sauce Gardner?
How many? None of them.
0.
Good.
Hey, Robert Saleh, let me see if I can explain this to you. This whole side thing is cute until you play a team that only has 1 receiver that you're legitimately scared of. Maybe he should go with him.
Asking.
Begging. I have a show. Name's on the door. I've been waiting to say that for a full day now. Anyway.
Begging for that shadow coverage. But I thought DJ Reed was just fine, right?
DJ Reed wasn't on him either.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Brandon Eccles.
Oh, why would you do
Michael
that?
Carter got hurt. He's playing in the slot. And we can't put DJ Reed or Sauce Gardner in the slot.
But why?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
They don't know what they're doing?
I don't know why.
It?
There was a reason for that. I just don't know what it was.
All right. I don't know. Look, I didn't buy it last week when the Dallas Cowboys won 40-0 over the New York Giants, and I'm not buying it now that they beat the New York Jets by 20. Okay, you beat the 2 New York teams 70-10 in the last 2 weeks.
How do you stop the pass rush?
I don't know. Anybody with a better offensive line than either of the 2 teams that they played, because the Giants have been god-awful and the Jets are worse.
Watch the tape. The Jets aren't worse. Our buddy Rich Cimini has been putting this out all morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did they put any help with a tight end? No. Can I explain that? Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, there's my explanation. He ain't real smart. All you people that told me you're putting too much into Nathaniel Hackett, here's my fait accompli. 2 games in, you were 100% right. Because he is going to be he's taking years off my life daily, giving me that angina that I'm not real fond of.
Has he earned the middle name Cant yet?
Well, you haven't known me long enough to know how big a slight what I'm getting ready to say is. Nathaniel Hackett is this close to being a worse New York Jets offensive coordinator than Paul Hackett.
Exactly.
Which is his dad.
Yeah.
Who my father still can't hear that name without bursting into an obscenity-laced tirade that I can't even hint at on these FCC airwaves.
Is it worse than Adam Gase?
I think Paul Hackett might be where he was there longer, and they were better. Yeah.
No, I'm saying Nathaniel. Is Nathaniel on the Adam Gase level now?
He's not there yet, but he's close. When Breece Hall has 14 touches in 2 weeks, you're doing this bad. And I actually think he has 17. You're not doing this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. This is about, how about them Cowboys? It's the best team in the league. They're pass rush good. Is, I've never seen anything like it. You say it's the line. I watched every second of the Giants game with Brian Haynes in tow. I watched every second I could physically stomach of the Jets game. I don't know how you're supposed to stop them. I have because Micah Parsons is the greatest defensive player I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not speaking in overreactions here. I've never seen a dude that can do that. And it didn't matter where he lined up. They put him over Elijah Vera Tucker at one point just to prove that's your best lineman. One-on-one, he can't stop me because I'm going to drag him too. And Dak Prescott is doing just enough. Was that Cowboy offense special yesterday? No. That Jet defense is. I actually believe more in the Jets defense right now than I did 48 hours ago. Because the fact you didn't let them do to you what they did to the Giants, just good for you, Robert Saleh. Because I don't know as a defensive player how you don't just look at this and go, what is the point? We're handing the ball to the cherub to go up against the Monstars who are just beating his poor little Cupid brains out. And I just don't see a team that's going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
You give me Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to laugh at you. With what I saw out of Jalen Hurts, you're telling me that against Micah Parsons, and you're taking the Eagles there. I don't care if they play it in Philadelphia. I don't care if they play it in Dallas. I don't care if they play it in the field at Radio Ranch on the moon. He will kill you. Danielle Hunter killed you. What do you think Micah Parsons will do? San Francisco, you very easily could have lost to a Rams team that I'm starting to have serious second doubts.
I was going to say.
Sean McVay might be a wizard because that team is not talented, and yet they are still really, really good.
I was going to say, they're not that bad.
I can't figure it out.
They are not that bad. And good coaches do that, right? Look, I get what you're saying. I mean, Dallas is scary. Absolutely. And this next week, it's going to continue because they got the Cardinals coming up, and they might beat them 50-0.
Yeah, Josh
Although
Dobbs.
the Cardinals, I mean, you got to be fair
Dobbs,
to the Cardinals. The first 2
sick.
weeks out, they've done way more than we expected them to. So maybe they score. Maybe they score a point. Maybe they get a field goal. Maybe they get a touchdown in the game. One broken play, something like that. But it's not going to be pretty. We'll find out in, 2 weeks? Dallas Cowboys have to go to the San Francisco 49ers. We'll see what happens when they meet up. I don't know if they're the best in the league. They are one of the best in the league.
They're phenomenal.
They're very good.
They are phenomenal. And all the people in the YouTube chat that are telling me how bad the Jets' offensive line is, all right, hold that same give me that same energy next week when they play the New England Patriots. Because you know how confident I was that they were going to lose to the Cowboys? I'm that confident they're going to beat New England. I've already seen the line. I've already got the wager because I know where that line's going to go.
You think you can stop Matthew
Jones?
Judon? And
I don't really care if we do stop Matthew Judon. I'm looking at Mac Jones coming up against that defense. Good damn luck. And I mean that from the depths of my soul. Anything you want, fire it in the chat.
But can I not just beat your brains out running the ball?
No. Tony Pollard averaged 2.9 yards a carry yesterday. That's my point with Dallas. What did they do well? Everybody's talking about the picks that Zach Wilson threw. The game was already over. It's 30-10. I think it was 27-10 the first one he threw. They kicked the field goal. Defense lived on the field. It didn't matter. None of it mattered. Dak Prescott wasn't special. CeeDee Lamb was special. Dak did exactly what they gave him. CeeDee Lamb is enough for me to beat you. That's all I need offensively. And every single week, you're going to come up against teams. All right, let's say they're prodigious against the run. Jets were yesterday. Didn't matter. 2 best corners in the league. CeeDee Lamb, best cornerback tandem in the league. CeeDee Lamb annihilated you with the third. Because that's what Mike McCarthy's doing. I've now watched him do it 2 weeks in a row. He's going to do it a third week in a row against Arizona. And I'm not sure. Somebody will beat this team, obviously. But I don't know who in the world's going to go into Dallas and beat them. And they're going to win the NFC East.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here. This afternoon, sunny low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine, mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, a Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Okay, Divine, geez. Every week he gets on my case because apparently I hate the Seattle Seahawks.
No, you're just wrong on them a lot.
And I am wrong on them a lot.
That was about the only thing I had right. So, thanks, Seattle.
I was not expecting Geno Smith to have the, the MVP-esque type game. Real Geno showed up in week 1. I used that narrative of, hey, he's back. Obviously, I was wrong, or at least I was for the Detroit game, as Seattle came back and beat the Detroit Lions. So, okay, I'm sorry. There's your apology, Divine. I will never not listen to you again when it comes to Seattle Seahawks football. I think I said that last week, and I didn't listen. I just didn't listen to you, and I apologize. But there was a funny moment in the game as the Seattle Seahawks had the ball. Geno Smith throws it incomplete, or he thinks it should be incomplete, but the referee thinks it's intentional grounding. Look, here's the tip, Geno. When you hear the guy on the overhead, don't interrupt like this.
Intentional grounding, offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here, excuse me. It's a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down. Second down.
That is the best line I've ever heard, Adam.
That is absolutely the best line. Or maybe second best line.
No, that just confirms everything I've ever thought, which is officials really love seeing their face on camera.
Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, come on. I get arguing the call. I'm talking to America here, son. Come on.
You're talking to the regional people that are watching this game because nobody else cares. We got Jaguars Chiefs right now. That's what America's watching.
I'm talking to America, he says, as Geno Smith is trying to argue with him on the live mic. And I think that's more what it was than anything of, hey, I don't want you shouting obscenities here for the broadcast, because that might get me fined. I know it's probably going to get you fined, but it might get me fined. I'm talking to America. Good for him.
I heard you and I had totally different takes on that. I heard that and went, shut up, nerd. You're an official. We all hate you anyway. Something I really hate, Travis Hunter. He gone.
T's and P's.
Yeah. The announcement's been made of what he's going to miss. It's the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
He will miss at Oregon. He will miss USC. He will miss at Arizona State. That last one doesn't really matter. Those first 2 do.
Yep.
How much of Colorado State did you watch?
None of it.
I watched every second of it. And I walked away from it going, Jay Norvell might not should have run his mouth, but he's a really good coach. And he really picked Colorado apart and really showed some of the deficiencies that team has defensively. Look, the Dion thing, it's a show. All right, you had The Rock in Boulder this week. You had game day there. This is great for the school. I want to play a game. Colorado plays at Oregon this week. The initial line is out. What do you think the spread on this game is? Colorado at Oregon. It's in Eugene.
Oregon minus 3.5.
It's 21.5.
Ooh.
Vegas doesn't believe in Colorado
anymore.
They didn't believe him in the first place. Colorado State's terrible. Yeah, their quarterback, that was cute. That was fun. It also helps when there's not a defender in the area of the guys he's throwing to.
Mm-hmm.
This is Vegas telling you the Colorado thing, they're good. And they're top 40 in the country because they can score. The problem is they can't stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be the single hardest line that I have ever had to pick in my entire life because I've got to pick that game. I mean, I can't go through bangers this week and not pick Colorado, Oregon, can I?
No.
No. So I have to pick it, and I have no idea which way I'm going to go. I feel like Shedeur Sanders is probably enough to cover 21.5.
I was going to say.
But the line's also going to move.
Do you think
I don't get to pick this game until Friday.
Right. Do you think they're going to get blown out? I mean, to that level, that's like I mean, that's a Clemson Richmond spread, right? That sounds crazy to me.
By comparison, Duke's a 21.5-point favorite at UConn this week.
There you go.
It's UConn who lost to Florida Atlantic National International Regional Airport this past week.
That just feels terribly high to me.
It feels high right now, but I know it's going to come down because the public narrative's on Colorado. And you want to know why it's so hard to do this? Because I got to wait until Friday to pick this stupid game in spite of the fact I want to pick it right now.
But is the narrative still on Colorado after Colorado State?
They won. That's all that matters. And it was late, and a lot of people didn't see it. A lot of people on the East Coast did not see it. That game didn't end until almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I know. I heard about it.
Yeah, trust me.
There wasn't a chance I was going to watch it.
I was up and then had to come in here to do a show at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then Tank was whining to me about how tired he was. Listen, Cletus, I drank 11 beers last night.
Well, that was your own fault.
Did I say it was your fault? No. Just wanting my sympathies. WNC Auto Detailing, one of our lovely sponsors here in the Sportsocracy, said Charles Kelly was bad at Florida State. Yes, he was. I'm not ready to talk about Florida State yet. We're going to talk about that in the next hour because that took some minutes off Jeremy's life.
Yep.
And I said some things that I may or may not be proud of.
I don't know. I saw the final, right? I saw the highlights of the game, obviously, dug into the Travis Hunter thing, which was god-awful.
It was a horribly dirty
I
shot.
don't see how the guy didn't get kicked out of the game.
I don't either. It's just comical how inconsistent collegiate officiating is.
Yeah.
The NFL, it's at least consistent. It's consistently bad, but it's at least consistent. That would get somebody run in practically any other game in America, and somehow it didn't in this one.
Yes.
I don't understand that.
I mean, it was. I guess it was the chippy nature of the game, and they decided to just let it go for some reason. I don't know why.
There were 5 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in the first quarter.
So I don't know. Were they just trying to let them play, kind of a thing?
No, it wasn't. I just think they missed it.
I did. I think so too.
Do you give them any shot to beat Oregon or
Hell
USA?
no. Okay. I didn't really give them much of a shot to begin with.
I
was the one that brought up last week is this not just a show. Like eventually this is going to run out, and to me, the carriage has already turned into a pumpkin here.
Oh, it's not a pumpkin. Look, this is a team that was supposed to win 3 games this year. They're going to eviscerate that.
The fact that you went in against Colorado State and did not blow them out, for me, was a loss.
Rivalry game. That's how. Trust me, that's how that's going to be phrased. It's a rivalry game. It's a huge rivalry to them. Just because we don't care.
We're not buying that, though. That's not the rivalry game. I mean, that's like the UNC East Carolina, NC State East Carolina rivalry. That's not a rivalry.
No.
It's not
That's
to the
what
level.
you just said is insane. Not to them. To Colorado players, that's the biggest rivalry they have. So what you think about it doesn't matter. It matters what happens on the field. For Colorado State, that was their Super Bowl. They know they're going to get boat raced every single week.
But the fact that they were competitive is a knock against Colorado from what we were sold to be.
Okay. Keep that same energy till about 1 hour from right now. I want everybody to remember what he just said. Just put a pin in that mentally, and we'll revisit that real soon.
I know exactly where you're going with that.
You should know where I'm going with that because it's abundantly obvious.
I don't know why you would expect me to be. Never mind.
But there is something we need to talk about.
What is that?
The Denver Broncos are every bit as bad as I told you they were, if not possibly worse. What was that?
That was a gritty team coming back at the end of the ball game, and Russell Wilson making MVP plays, and until he didn't.
Okay, how many words of what you just said do you actually believe?
None of them.
Okay, I was just making sure.
None of them. I'm trying to make best case scenario here for Denver Bronco fan who's still lying to themselves that this is salvageable.
They're not lying to themselves. My Twitter mentions will tell you they are not lying to themselves. They're ready to clean house. Our buddy Soren Eagle, he sent me a dissertation on all of the people that needed to be fired. And here's the thing. It was well thought out. It was well written. And I didn't see one lie in the entire thing. That team is just not very good. Talent-wise, you're not good. If you were expecting Sean Payton to come in and fix Russell Wilson, he didn't do it. Okay? There's no fix in that. He Marvin Mims really well because that dude runs by people. I still think it's funny. He had 2 catches. One was a 60-yarder. The other was a 53-yarder. Those were the only 2 targets he had in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you see that dude on the field, just go, hey, deep. We don't let him run by you because he can't do anything else. But don't let him run by you. Denver is I don't really know what to do with you at this point. Because I told you it could start okay. Nope. Didn't start okay. Do you know who you play next week? You're at the Miami Dolphins. Oh boy. That hit me in the nethers. That's not good. Then you play at the Bears. That should be a win for you.
Maybe.
Then what? The Jets. Mm-hmm. Oh, their offense sucks. Yeah, their defense doesn't. At the Chiefs. Packers, Chiefs, at the Bills. I'm going to say this, and I mean it. Our buddy Walter Cherepinski, Walter Football, he has the Denver Broncos picking number 1, and I ain't sure he's wrong. I'm not sure he's wrong. I don't see 4 wins on that entire schedule. I think I had them winning 5 in the first place. Mm-hmm. You'll be lucky to get to 5.
Yep.
The Sean Payton thing, yeah, you're right. He's a good coach. He ain't Bill Belichick. He ain't Andy Reid. And I tried to tell you that. None of this should be all.
Maybe he is Bill Belichick.
Without
his star quarterback, he ain't done much.
Has he gone 3-14? Because Sean's about to.
He's about to.
Yeah, Sean's fitting to. That team is horror awful. And you made Sam Howell look like Joe Montana. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Mahomes may score 50 on them. The defense is a joke. An absolute joke. You're up 21-3. 21-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wheels fell off. That's not the sign of a good coach. This entire roster needs to be blown up, and I think Sean Payton knows that. I don't know if you watched his post-game presser.
No, I did not.
That looked like a man that went, I don't have answers for what is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad. And I agree with him.
Yep.
I think it needs to be blown up. Russell Wilson is done like dinner. Oh, he threw for 300 yards. Whoop-de-doo. Zach Wilson's done that 4 times. I don't care how many yards he threw for.
Yep.
It was abundantly clear to me. This ain't the dude.
And please stop it. They did not get robbed. The 2-point conversion play.
We always got robbed. It's always the officials.
The 2-point
I'm the worst one
play.
for it. I know. I do it all the time.
Was not PI, and I will stand by that.
Dark Soul in our YouTube comments said Sean Payton being 0-2 after talking smack about the Jets for no reason is hysterical. Yeah, it's funny you said that because I talked to people in that organization. Yeah, the defense, they're really looking forward to Mac Jones and Russell Wilson. Between there, we're not so much looking forward to that. That's not going to be fun.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Monday Night Football coming up tonight. Jeremy's Bangers are next.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo.
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present.
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Monday Night Football. Well, here's the positive. I can't physically be any worse picking games than I was over the weekend unless I pick teams that aren't playing. So we'll look to get back on a winning track with 2 games tonight. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The Carolina Panthers are at home tonight. They're a 3-point dog at home, and it should be more than that because New Orleans defense is good. Derek Carr is going to have a field day with no J.C. Horn. This just doesn't line up well for Carolina. I hated this matchup when the schedule came out, and I hate it even worse now that J.C. Horn has gone down. That secondary is not ready for this. I look for a big game out of Olave. I think you could see a big game out of Michael Thomas. This sets up really nicely. Give me the Saints minus the 3. I will go over the 39.5. That feels a little low for this because I'm not sure New Orleans defense is that great. The pass rush will get home from time to time, but I think you see a better version of Bryce Young tonight than you saw last week. Next, the Cleveland Browns travel to Pittsburgh. They are a 2-point favorite, and this is just a gut call of I need a Hail Mary, and nothing this weekend has gone away that makes any form of sense. I don't think Pittsburgh is as bad as we saw them last week against the San Francisco 49ers. That's a team that makes mediocre to average to good teams look bad. We are always beholden to the most recent thing we saw. Pittsburgh was awful. This number feels weird. I said in the preseason, I like every AFC North team playing within the division at home. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers plus the 2. I'll take them plus 114 in the money line, and I'm going under the 38. I think this will be a low-scoring affair, a lot of running, and a game that's not going to be real fun to watch. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here this afternoon. Sunny, low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine, mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, the Weather Channel.
This is Anish Shroff. Join me, Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Sharon Thorsland Monday night as the Panthers host the New Orleans Saints. It's Carolina's home opener. It's Bryce Young's first game in front of the home crowd. Pre-game coverage at 6, kick at 7:15 on the Carolina Panthers radio network.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Coming to Hulu this Friday and Saturday.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The biggest superstars from all genres of music on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Stream it live only on Hulu.
You will not want to miss.
This Friday and Saturday, starting at 10 p.m.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It's an Overreaction Monday here in the Ingalls studio. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Sportsocracy seen everywhere in the studio. On YouTube, go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, get your overreactions in for the weekend as well. Well, Jeremy, your team is not great. And I knew I should have known better than to take Jets plus 9.5.
That was stupid.
But I didn't.
That was actually dumber than your Jets plus 7.
I know it was.
That's going on. 100% it was. That's going on a shirt now. Jets plus 9.5. 407 sacks later.
Well, I thought maybe this was the time when the Dallas Cowboys were going to do that thing that the Dallas Cowboys do, but nope, Jets going Jet. So didn't work out for me. The New York Giants, they're not good either.
Oh yeah, it's a great time.
And that's they start out the season 60-0. It was 20-0 at halftime.
It's the Cardinals. You're down 20-0 to the Cardinals.
Yeah. Second half comes around, and the offense got going. Saquon scored a couple of touchdowns. Daniel Jones combined for 3. 2 of them passing, 1 of them rushing.
Let's go.
And they came back. They came back, and they won. But then Saquon got hurt. And now he's in for an MRI, and it could be bad. We don't know. We don't know. But if they lose Saquon Barkley, how far do they fall down the pecking order?
Well, it's not a great time to be a part of New York, coming from somebody that is. I don't really care if Saquon. I mean, for Saquon's sake, I hope he's okay. But this narrative that what are we gonna do if Saquon's out? Well, you're gonna get smoked. Let me tell you a dirty little secret. I don't care if Saquon Barkley becomes bionic. You're still going to get smoked next week at the 49ers. Then you play the Seahawks, at the Dolphins, at the Bills. Congratulations. Welcome to 1-5. 1-5 is what you're going to do. This team's just not very good. Mm-hmm. What do they do well?
Nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, they Saquon Barkley well.
Do they?
At times, I guess, against bad teams. I mean,
even
in the first
game. He was
game.
below 4 yards a carry yesterday. So, okay. Average 5 yards a catch. I don't really feel like – I feel like you're losing a name if he can't play, but it's not like he was the only bit of offense you had. Yesterday it was Jalen Hyatt in the message, repeat the line. Darren Waller a few times. Awesome. He's fine. Daniel Jones is still not good at football. The sad thing is he's the best quarterback playing in New York right now, and that hurts.
You weren't winning a lot of games anyway. But
don't tell them that.
But losing Saquon Barkley definitely hurts, right? If you can't run the ball with Saquon, if you can't even keep them honest running the ball, Daniel Jones ain't going to be the one to beat you, right? Not with those weapons.
I mean, you really hadn't been running the ball particularly well in the first place. So, I mean, yeah, I agree. If he goes away, then it's worse.
And that's kind of my point, is last year they were a playoff team because Saquon was good, right? They were able to open up some holes for him.
This team's not making the playoffs.
No.
Under any circumstances.
No.
Stephen Towner, YouTube comments. Thanks for proving why they don't pay running backs. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem without a solution. This is exactly why you don't do it. I mean, Saquon Barkley's built like a Terminator, and this is now, the fourth time he's been hurt? Don't know the extent. It could be nothing. Could be something. We'll find out probably later today.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you were getting just dog-walked by the Arizona Cardinals. Yay, we came back to win. I heard Stephen A. Smith debating this morning which one was a better comeback, the Commanders or the Giants.
Woo!
Woo! Neither.
He's scraping at this point because he needs to find something that can bring the Dallas Cowboys down a little bit. And so maybe that's where he's going, is like, oh, somebody could beat them. Nope.
The Giants have done absolutely nothing through 2 weeks to make me think that I was wrong on them in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I said this was a team that was going to take a horrible regression, if for nothing else because the schedule was evil. I still think Brian Daboll's a great coach. I think you screwed up paying Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to regret that for at least 2 years. And then you're going to be in the market for a quarterback again.
Yep.
Stop paying mediocre to bad quarterbacks elite quarterback money.
Mm-hmm.
It never, ever, ever works out.
Yep. And don't ever give your running back money.
No. You draft running backs. Just draft a running back every year. You'll hit on one every 4 years. You'll be fine.
Right. New York Giants got the 49ers next.
Good luck with that.
Seahawks, Dolphins, Bills.
Yeah.
Those are the next four.
That's going to be less than ideal.
Not good.
That's going to be less than ideal for the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's that other team in New York.
Yep. The New York Jets just end the season.
Oh, such a great song. It's such a great song. I mean, I think they should change the words a little bit.
Spreading the news.
That's good. We really suck. I'm tired of being a part of it. New York, New York. You know, being a New York Jets fan is really like just getting hit in the face with a wiffle ball bat every day, 17 times a year. I came into this season with so much hope. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Breece Hall, you got Dalvin Cook, you got this defense. And the highlight of the year was a punt return from an undrafted free agent. That's New York Jet football in a nutshell. And I'm going to say something now, and I don't know that this would be any different with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
All right, you beat Buffalo, which you shouldn't have. You got eviscerated by the Cowboys because that pass rush just ate you alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a lot of narrative of, Aaron Rodgers is so comfortable that he could have changed plays and he could have changed protections. Yes, that is a problem with Zach Wilson. It's been a problem forever because teams know he is not given the latitude to audible out of things. He barely knows how to change the protections. But Dwayne Brown got annihilated. Mekhi Becton wasn't much better. And now I'm just looking at the schedule going, what is the best case scenario? I've already said I think you're going to beat New England next week. It's in New York. That defense against Mac Jones. Oh, Bill Belichick's going to take away the one thing you want. Okay. I don't really care because I don't think you can score on that defense, and I don't really care how many opportunities did you get. Who's the receiver that's beating Sauce Gardner? That's been a problem 2 weeks in a row. You think DeMario Douglas is doing that? Or Kendrick Bourne? No, that's the one. It's Kendrick Bourne. Yeah, sure. Okay. But then you play the Chiefs and the Eagles, the Chargers. What am I even striving for? You're not beating Pat Mahomes, and you're not beating the Eagles.
No.
So let's go ahead and chalk those two up to L's.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll beat the Patriots. I think you'll beat the Broncos. I think you'll beat the Giants. If I'm correct in that, you're going to be the worst 4-3 team in the history of the NFL with the Los Angeles Chargers coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something. And you're going to tell me I'm a homer or I'm delusional. That schedule doesn't look nearly as evil as it used to.
Uh-huh.
The Dolphins are much better. You're not beating the Dolphins. You're not beating the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 losses right there. You're probably anything worse than that, you're not making the playoffs. There's not a whole lot of other really difficult teams there that are going to be able to take advantage of the fact that you can't score.
Yep.
You think I'm out of my mind, don't you?
No, I mean, because I thought this is what I thought as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down was that this defense would be good enough to keep your record respectable. I mean, because we expect this team would just crater. Anybody else loses a quarterback like that, your team's probably going to crater. Now, the defense is good enough that you might be able to snake out some wins, and you might get into that 8 and 9 category.
You're going to tell me I'm crazy.
Are you going higher than that?
I am.
Oh, God.
I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. All right, you're 1-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me where the losses are. All right, you play New England this week in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a way Mac Jones beating that defense. Don't see a way Russell Wilson's doing it. Don't see a way Daniel Jones is doing it. Don't see a way Jimmy Garoppolo, Desmond Ridder, C.J. Stroud, Sam Howell. I'm at 8 right now. You still have games with Mac Jones at the Browns. That's not going to be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, who we're going to talk about them next. That's probably going to be a different coach.
Could possibly be.
Look, Jet fans are throwing themselves off bridges right now, and I understand it. You thought this was going to be your Super Bowl year. I don't really know how much has changed. I told you that Dallas Cowboy game terrified me.
I mean, a lot has changed. A lot has changed because your offense can't move the ball, and that is a major problem. So, yes, while your defense can be just lights out, expecting that to be enough against the Chargers, to me,
you gotta be able to
is
throw
iffy to me.
We got to be able to throw on them. So, and I think that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. I heard a lot of people talk about how bad the Jets' defense was last night.
Mm-hmm.
Give up 382 yards, and you were on the field for 43 minutes.
Yep.
That might be a small miracle.
Now, I take my hat off to the defense for holding them to
field
field goals.
The fact that they didn't get blown out yesterday with absolutely no shot of moving the ball. You had 4 touches for Breece Hall, and Dalvin Cook looks like he's 614 years old and can't hold on to the ball.
It could have been much worse.
It could have been much worse.
Because they had 5 possessions where they had to settle for field goals. And
that's really a credit to that Jet defense.
Absolutely. Had 2 or 3 of those gone the other way. I mean, we're talking about another shellacking of another New York team, and it's even worse than the 70-10 spread or the outcome that they've got against the 2 New York teams in the last 2 weeks.
Now, Andrew Ayer said it'll take a miracle for you to get to the playoffs. No. Okay, let me
no playoffs.
Let me maybe rewind what I said here. I ain't talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about is every Sunday. Am I going to die a little bit on the inside every Sunday? And I don't think so.
Yes, you will.
I don't, because there's so many teams. They play 5 of the 7 worst offenses in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And with a defense like that, you're going to win more of these games than you should.
You're going to be right back in the same spot you were last year, where every game comes down to the end, It's going to be trying to rely on Zach Wilson to get one big play in the fourth quarter or something to that effect if y'all don't go out and get somebody else to run that offense.
They're not getting somebody else.
So
first of all, all right, I'm glad you said that. Let me kill this. They're going to go get another quarterback. First of all, we had the insane talk that Aaron Rodgers could be back for the playoffs. Well, sweet. He can go run wind sprints around somebody else playing the playoffs because they ain't going to be the New York Jets. What other quarterback wants to play behind the line you saw yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to give up a pick for Kirk Cousins? No. I am 100% of the belief that Aaron Rodgers is playing next year.
Yes.
Nothing there has changed for me. And so where I'm at with the Jets is your narrative now has changed. You've got to set this up for next year. All right, your playoff hopes are gone. I've never seen a team that inept offensively that ever made the playoffs.
No.
I mean, I've heard Ravens in the early 2000s. They weren't that inept. They could run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Jets can too, and they don't get away from it. But you have to not get behind. And Zach Wilson, I know the stat line looks bad because he threw 3 interceptions in the last 3 possessions of the game. There were things to like about what he did. I don't care who the quarterback is. If you can't keep Micah Parsons off him, and he was toying with them. He looked like a cat playing with one of those little mouse toys. Just boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
That's going to be a problem against anybody that has a high-end pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
But you really better be able to stop the run, and you better be able to score. Because defensively, I mean, we'll just talk about New England. The Miami Dolphins don't rush the passer well. There was no Jalen Phillips last night. Bradley Chubb by himself eviscerated your offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that Jets team's going to do?
Oh, it's going to be terrifying.
Because they were on top of Dak Prescott all night with one of the best lines in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not ready to say, oh, this is going to be 5-12 and Zach Wilson's awful.
No, if
they're going to roll with Zach,
mm-hmm.
he will have good games. And the hope is that you have some form of hope in December. That will be dashed quickly because at the end of the season, you have some games that are not going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, the Browns late at the Dolphins. But there are wins on that schedule too. It's not just
there are, but I feel like there are a lot of iffy games on that schedule too. Like, would I be shocked to see the Jets and the Giants not come down to a late field goal?
I'd be shocked if the Giants beat the Jets. That team that struggled with the Arizona Cardinals defense with no Budda Baker.
Mm-hmm. The Atlanta Falcons, that scrappy little team that never goes away.
All you can do is run.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Ridder is awful.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Luke Marshall Haynes, one of our resident Packer fans, sent me one of the funniest messages I've ever gotten. And it was all about, how do you not understand he can't throw? Because Desmond Ridder cannot throw.
Mm-hmm.
And you still found a way to let them do that thing that you were not supposed to let them. By the way, big props to my best friend and lifelong Atlanta Falcons fan, Matt, Officer Matt, as we talk about him. Or I think he's Captain Matt now, actually. Broke his lifelong streak of he had never seen his Atlanta Falcons in person win a football game. Even in we've been to 2 preseason games together. They didn't win those. It was one of the most epic streaks I've ever seen in my life. He was in attendance yesterday and saw his Falcons win a game.
Mm-hmm.
That was about the only joy I took out of the weekend. Good for you.
That's good. Chris D says Belichick is not going to let Wilson do anything. Insert your "how many times do we have to teach you a lesson, old man" memes.
Okay, I'm going to say something, and I'm really not trying to be a jerk here. I'm doing my best.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know where this hubris from New England Patriots fans come from. Okay, let's say you beat a Zach Wilson-led Jets team. I don't care. You're awful. I need you to accept that. And I know Chris D's not actually a New England fan. I'm not really. He was just the one that triggered this because I've seen a lot of it. I don't know what you need to see to understand that your team is god-awful. I mean, bottom 10 in the NFL bad. You've seen it. Well, we stayed competitive with Philadelphia and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You were never a threat to beat them. I watched every second of the game last night. Never once did I go, Miami's winning, or Miami's going to lose this. They tried to. It was never there. At this point, you can be a fly in the ointment. That's it. That is it. Ooh, your defense is pretty good. You can take away the number one thing they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You also let Raheem Mostert run down your throat because you were having to drop an extra you had to have 5 defensive backs on the field almost the entire game.
Can't do 2 things at once.
No. That's where New England's at. I don't know why this is so hard for and I get that you haven't been this for 20 years. You have been this for 4 years, and it ain't changed. Tyreek Hill, Ask Alice, said Patriot fans are the worst in the league. Some of them are, because they are completely delusional. Mac Jones was horrific last night. Threw probably the worst interception I saw all weekend long. That just laid there like it's a punt. I don't know how you think you're going to win with this. You can talk your big game and pick on the Jets with Zach Wilson. Okay, you win. Does that change anything I think about you? No. Because guess what? You have to play that Dallas team too. Good luck with that. That right tackle that Bradley Chubb annihilated last night. Yeah, he gets to see Micah Parsons. Just give it some time.
Yep.
We'll get to you later.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. To sum it all up, it sucks to be a New York football fan.
Oh, it's awful.
In 2023. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that, and that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found your favorite bourbon, an awesome vodka, oh, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
That's me. Always happy to help. Honey, Ruthie found that amazing Cabernet you loved.
Oh yeah, that Cabernet was really good.
And we have it for the lowest price in town.
We've got to get another bottle. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people. Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
One of these days, I'm going to figure out a way to record the breaks. I really wish you could have all seen Tank just go nanners over something that has nothing to do with this show or sports. He went full football Farley for two solid minutes of the break.
Just look. Try.
Don't seem to understand the tenor of the message.
All I ask for in this life is just a little bit of confidence. And sometimes that's too much to ask, right? I mean, LA Charger fans, you're with me, right?
I don't understand what we're doing.
What's happening here? We can't win these close games. For some reason, we pissed off someone in a former life, and we can never have nice things. Right? This has been the thing that's been saddled around the neck of the Los Angeles Chargers forever. You can't win the big one.
Hey, you remember that thing I said about Josh Kelly? Tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Hope you listened to me because I tried to tell you.
You get, even when you get into the playoffs and you have the number one seed. Remember back in the Norv Turner days, the Marty Schottenheimer days, they would roll through the West. And then they would get into the playoffs and just lay an egg over and over and over again. And it's been this way forever. And now we can't trust you. And the moment I want to trust you, I can't.
Do you happen to remember what I said about that game when we picked it?
No.
I said I should be taking the Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to be angry that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what?
I was.
I was angry that I didn't. I cannot for the life of me figure out how a team that has this many stars on a defense is this horrifically awful defensively. You made Ryan Tannehill look like a competent NFL quarterback with Treylon Burks, Chris Moore, and Trayvon Wesco. Excuse me? Could you run that back by me one more time? You could not run a greasy peg of a catskeister. That's how bad, by the way, that's how bad Miami is at stopping the run. The Tennessee Titans went, nope, it's going to be old Goldilocks over there. Either he beats us or nobody does, because you are not going to be multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Herbert did his best. Keenan Allen was fantastic. Mike Williams was good. And yet, here you are.
Yep. Here you are. And why does this keep happening? Why do we keep getting into these situations?
4 words. Brandon Staley. End of message. Repeat the line. I'm not going to speak in sweeping over exaggerations here because there have been some really bad coaches in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Staley belongs very high on the top of this list.
Really? Okay.
How many coaches in the NFL would you say are worse than him right now? Take out the rookie guys because we don't know.
I don't know. I'd say a handful, maybe 5 or 6.
Name
I don't know.
one. Name one coach.
Todd Bowles.
You're 2-0 with Baker Mayfield. Okay, it was 2 terrible teams, and I still think you go 5-12. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
He is. That is an acceptable answer.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Name me another one. Dennis Allen would at least be able to stop somebody.
Maybe, yeah.
That the offense might be terrible, but you could at least not be the broken sieve that you are. I've never seen anything like this. This is one of the highest paid defenses in the league. And they are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, we kept Derrick Henry at 3.4 or 3.7 yards to carry. Woo!
He does that against normal teams.
You lost to the Tennessee Titans, who have nothing. And by the way, we're missing their best offensive lineman. Missing their best offensive lineman. You hit Ryan Tannehill, I will give you that, and it didn't matter. How does this man still have a job? Does he have pictures of the Spanos family doing horrible things? They must be real bad. Whatever it is he has on them It is something that can never be seen by the light of day.
It will not
take. Only explanation I got.
It will not take 5 more weeks for this to happen.
When does it happen? Because we're now officially to this is going to happen.
What?
Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley's
100%.
not making it at the end of this year.
No. I mean, the only way that changes is an act of God, maybe. Somehow they find a defensive way here and they're able to make some stops and they just go on a tear here and win 11 straight games and win all the one-score games like Minnesota did last year. You can do that, and that'll save it. Other than that, there's no saving this. Next week, if you lose to the Minnesota Vikings, which I don't think you're going to, but if you lose to the Minnesota Vikings and start out 0-3, he gets fired on Monday. He may get fired before Monday. It may be 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night next week before he gets fired. But
they go to Minnesota.
Yes.
A rather upset 0-2 Minnesota Vikings team.
Yes. It's dangerous. It's a very dangerous position for Brandon Staley to be in.
They lose next week to the Vikings, that's the end.
Now,
and that's all I got to say about that.
Now, more likely scenario is the next 2 weeks you pick up wins. Hopefully you look good against Minnesota because everybody does. Austin Eckler comes back and you just steamroll them, right? Because they can't stop the run. They're not going to be able to do anything with you in the passing game either. So you should blow them out. I look at the Las Vegas Raiders and go, oh, you should win that game too. Then you go Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, and that Dallas Cowboys team against you is not going to go well at all.
Let me give you a let me see if I'm big on analogies and symbolism. Do you remember the great 50s cartoon Tom and Jerry?
Yes.
Do you remember when the cat would play with the dog? There was a dog that lived outside, and the cat, Tom, really liked to mess with him. And every once in a while, the dog would be asleep in his little dog bed, and Tom would run out there and lift up his tail and beat him right on the little tuchus with a ping pong paddle or a 2x4.
Right.
You're going to get 60 minutes of that against the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree.
Hope Brandon Staley is renting, because if he's not, he is going to have a very difficult property to sell in this real estate market. Now,
yes,
I'm going to make a sweeping declaration, and Alex Majabi beat me to it in the YouTube comments.
Okay.
He said, I'm seeing Chargers fans talking about Harbaugh coming to the Chargers. Don't know if it would even be possible. I'm going to tell you right now that this is exactly how this goes. Brandon Staley's going to get fired in the next 4 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know which week. If you lose one of the next 2, it's immediately. You lose to the Raiders or the Vikings, and I'll go ahead and tell you I'm taking the Vikings this week. At home, Justin Jefferson. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
What will Justin Jefferson do to J.C. Jackson? Do I need to re-reference Tom and the dog and the arse spanking again? Because that's where this is headed. The Spanos family knows how good this team is. They know how talented this team is.
Mm-hmm.
I've already told you, the coordinators in this market, there's not a hot coordinator. I've already heard Jeff Ulbricht's name, which is the defensive coordinator of the Jets, around league circles. There ain't a whole lot of coordinators that would really rev you up.
Yeah.
Where'd Jim Harbaugh start his coaching career?
Let me guess, with the Chargers.
Nope. No, I meant his head coaching career.
Oh, Stanford.
No. He was at San Diego first.
Oh, San Diego. That's right.
And I understand, geographically, that's different. He's real familiar with this franchise, and they're real familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
They have never wanted to come off the money for a team like this, for a coach like this. If you're not careful, because you have already spent yourself into a nightmare, because you've already paid Herbert, you've got all these defensive players. J.C. Jackson is an albatross contract.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take the swing, or you risk this being the Dan Fouts Chargers. And trust me, that's talked about a lot of, we can't do this again. We had Dan Fouts and Eric Coryell. We were special. We never won squat. We had Marty Schottenheimer. We had the best record in the league. We got beat in the playoffs. We had Drew Brees. We had Phillip Rivers. We never won squat.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do this again. They will throw everything short of the kitchen sink at Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
Excuse me. And not only will he listen, he will be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. You mark my words.
Okay.
I've already heard out of Michigan, he will take the first offer he gets because he's so tired of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if he wins a national championship this year or not. It doesn't matter. This deal at Michigan has soured him completely on the NCAA. And I understand it. The way he ended in the NFL has always ruffled his feathers. And nobody's given him an offer. He was ready to take the Vikings job 2 years ago. That was done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he's real loyal to Michigan. I don't care what they say. I fully believe that the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers is Jim Harbaugh. And I don't think it matters what it takes to get it done.
Really?
I don't.
Wow. So giving up on Kellen Moore already?
It's not giving up on Kellen Moore. That's risky. He's still a coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And this was always the fear with him, is that your stink is the stink of Brandon Staley could very easily pollute you. Because I'll go a step further on this. And I hadn't looked at this, but what you said about the next 4 weeks, it got me thinking.
Okay.
There's a great chance this team's 2-4.
Yes.
Because I don't see how they're going to beat the Cowboys, and I don't see how they're going into Arrowhead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
2-4 is best case scenario.
You have a nice little spot there in the middle where you play the Bears, the Jets, but even the Lions and the Packers. Those don't feel like layups now.
They're not.
At the Patriots is not a layup. The Ravens is no layup. The Bills, the Chiefs. I'm going to say the same thing I said about the New York Jets with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff talk, that's done. You're not one of those teams. You're not. Could you become that? Sure. I have zero faith in Brandon Staley to do that. Do you?
I have no faith. I'm done.
He's not going to – I mean, he came in here as a defensive guy. The defense is a joke.
Absolutely.
The offense has always been good. It's not like it's gotten much better. Do you feel better about them through 2 weeks than you did last year?
No, and to me
it's been fine.
And to me, that's a concern. That's an absolute concern.
To me, that was always the problem with the Chargers. All right, you went and got Kellen Moore. The offense wasn't the problem in the first place. You've always scored points. You didn't run well, and you ran all over Miami last week. Awesome. But the defense is still a sieve, and there's nobody there to fix it. These are all his guys. It's going to continue to be a problem all year long. And I'm looking around the AFC going, there is a very clear separation to me. I don't know if there is to you or not. But I'm looking at the high end of the AFC North. I'm looking at the two good teams in the AFC East, the Chiefs, the Jaguars, and then there's a drop-off.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think there's another drop-off, and that's where you start getting into the Chargers and the Jets. You're really prodigious on one side. The other side is not playoff worthy. It's just not. Even if you sneak in, you're going to get beat to death. I've already seen you do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers are in one of the weirdest shapes of any team, of any 0-2 team I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Because these were both supposed to be wins. You caught the Dolphins at home. The Titans are not very good. You're supposed to be 2-0 to even get to the less than ideal standard that we had set for you.
I give you the break on the Dolphins.
I'll give you the break on the Dolphins.
I'll give you the break on the Dolphins.
I said earlier, I think the Dolphins are the second best team in the league.
Exactly. So, I mean, the fact that was a close game and it came down to the final, like, okay, all right, I can deal with that.
I can't figure out how you would make an argument that the Titans aren't one of the 10 worst teams in the league.
Exactly. That's the warning. That's the red flag game. The Tennessee game is the red flag game. And I know going to Nashville is hard to do, and West Coast coming East Coast, all those things. Like,
none of that matters.
I get it. No, it doesn't matter.
You had playoff aspirations, and now you're sitting at 0-2.
Right. And this is, but it's the way you're losing. It's the same thing you've been criticized for in the last 2 years. You get close, but you cannot make that final decision and late in the game to give your team the advantage, to get the win. Somehow you're going to screw it up. Yesterday, you were able to you gave up the lead, okay? Your defense gave up the lead late in the fourth quarter. You had to rally to kick one at the buzzer to even send it to overtime. And then your defense failed you in overtime as they gave up the field goal and you lose. You keep doing the same things over and over again, and after the game, Brandon Staley talking about, he was asked the question of, does the playoff loss from Jacksonville or to Jacksonville, does that play into what's happening this year? And Brandon said, it has nothing to do with that. That's just a storyline for you guys in the media. You're damn right it's a storyline for us in the media because you're doing the same damn things, right? You can't keep blowing leads. They blew an 11-point lead yesterday against the Tennessee Titans to lose that game. You are a team that is way better than them at every level on paper. When you get on the field, under your leadership, Brandon Staley, this team sucks, and it's your fault. Plain and simple.
What he said.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here. This afternoon, sunny low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine. Mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Coming to Hulu this Friday and Saturday.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The biggest superstars from all genres of music on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Stream it live only on Hulu.
You will not want to miss.
This Friday and Saturday, starting at 10 p.m.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
This week only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway from Zero Res for only $109. This offer ends this week, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at zeroresasheville.com.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried New Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, And there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We love our weird stories, and Jeremy, there's nothing weirder to me than, well, actually, maybe it shouldn't be that shocking. Because, I mean, if I told you the government lost track of a $1 billion piece of equipment, would you be shocked?
Do I need to re-reference my famous door government? $8,000 for a door. Door has 3 functions: open, close, and lock. It didn't do 2 of them.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this story, but Sunday afternoon, a plane went down from Joint Base Charleston. Pilot's okay, so it was not that was not part of the tragedy. Thank God that the pilot ejected and everything's fine. The problem is the F-35B Lightning II jet that he was in, they don't know where it went. So he had a problem with the plane. He ejects out, parachutes down. Nobody knows where the plane landed. Officials are now asking the public to let them know if they've seen a $100 million airplane.
9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. And
it's not surprising.
And it's weird that you told that story, because my story also has to do with the government. Do you know who Lauren Boebert is?
Yeah.
You do political talk, so you should know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
She is a member of the House of Representatives. I'm used to saying reprehensibles, and I'm not sure that that's inaccurate.
Not in this case.
Colorado. Last few days, she went to a musical, Beetlejuice, with her beau. She originally apologized for vaping in the theater, because apparently you do realize that vaping it's just water vapor and it smells lovely. So there's really, that's not something to apologize for.
It's not fair to the smokers, though.
Well, no, they should make theaters where you can smoke, and that's the only place I'd ever watch a movie, but that's beside the point.
We're not going to do it at a kid's play.
Well, the thing about when you apologize for something like that, they find surveillance video of what you were doing. And there was something that she should have been apologizing for, but I don't think it had to do with anything vape related.
No, she was breaking the number 1 rule of the theater. You never sing along with the songs.
That's not where I was headed.
Well, I mean, she was doing that too. Did she do something else?
She did. She did some things that's usually reserved for 13-year-olds in a movie theater. There was some pawing with her beau, which is something you wouldn't think a member of Congress would do in public.
Unless their name's Anthony Weiner.
Oh,
sorry.
Look at make them laugh,
Sorry.
make them. But we don't do politics here. Okay?
I know.
I already broke that rule by telling the story because it's funny. There are days that I look at the government of the United States and I go, we're not in good shape. Things are not going so great here. This is still it's the greatest country on earth. But could we possibly elect some officials who are either not on the brink of death or have some couth to them?
I mean, I think this is like one of your biggest hypocrisy moments, because I could totally see Mayor Jeremy Green getting caught for this.
Am I running for mayor?
You've
Not
threatened
yet.
it several times. When I'm president, you would be the most depraved president we've ever had, and that's not saying a lot.
Hey, I'm not trying to be political here, but that title would currently go to Bill Clinton, and things were working pretty good at that point.
Would it though? I mean, I feel like we forget a lot of the things that happened in the past.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No.
I'm just saying, Lewis Black once famously said, we don't even really need somebody with great opinions. We just need somebody that's...
They did cover up a lot for JFK. So I'm just, just saying. People in public office, sometimes they feel like the rules don't apply to them, and who's shocked?
Hey, here's the net of it. Stop voting for crazy people. Philadelphia, looking right at you.
Lauren Boebert. Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Hey, there's a phrase that I'm really wanting to say right here, but we'll. Tennessee.
Oh, check on your Tennessee fan friends. They're not okay.
Oh,
poor
Michael Meadows.
Have you ever in your life changed your opinion about a coach more in 60 minutes than you did about Josh Heupel? I watched that entire game and went, what are you doing right now? I mean, yeah. All right. I didn't plan this. We moved this segment because it doesn't require a whole lot. This is the best way. If you didn't watch Tennessee, Florida, of which Florida is still not good at football, just turns out neither is Tennessee, which, oops, sorry, got that one wrong too. If you took my gambling advice this week, there'll probably be a class action lawsuit coming at some point. Sorry. All right. That's all I'm telling you is what I'm doing. You're in the same boat of sadness I am. Sorry. The only thing that I could equate Tennessee's offense to, we all have that friend. You know, that friend that hasn't had a whole lot of luck with the ladies, and he uses those same lines in Facebook Messenger, like, you up, or where's my hug when he sees somebody. We all know that sad dude. That was Tennessee's offense for 60 full minutes. Hey, that hasn't worked not one time. But you know what? Send that you up text again, because I'm sure this time's when it will work. You've run that dive over the guard 27 times for 29 yards, but I'm sure this is the one where you're going to break it for a big one. And if I heard Kirk Herbstreit one more time say, but look how they're spacing out the Florida defense. Yeah, to run the ball again at the giantest human on the planet Earth for the 11 jillionth time. Wow. Tennessee, T's and P's. Because, wow.
Look, there used to be a time where going down to the swamp and getting smacked in the mouth was not a problem. I mean, you could explain it away easily. Not this year.
I can't explain it away now because that Florida team is not good.
No. And you got absolutely handled.
I did really love at the end of the game where Florida gets cute with the kneel down and they're just ready to throw hands. Tennessee's got a DB out there like, let's go. Well, first of all, swinging hands with a dude with a helmet on, that's stupid. You should not do that. That's how you break your hand. B, that feller was just a whole mess bigger than you. And you should not do that either.
I'm not backing down, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I'm Joe Milton and this guy's coming at me,
that
I'm
wasn't
like,
Joe Milton. That was a corner.
It wasn't Joe Milton?
No. All right, let me just add, because I saw that like 5 times.
Right.
A, his hair color was the wrong color. B, his number was wrong. C, the offense wasn't on the field. What, did Joe Milton just sprint across the field?
Yeah, it was the last play of the game.
Let's throw hands right in it. No, it was some I actually know his name because I looked at the roster to figure out who it was. But that was a disaster of epic proportions. T's and P's, Tennessee.
Yep.
You're in our hearts.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got a parlay for you to lay down tonight for the Monday Night Football games coming up next.
The season we've all been waiting for is here.
No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today. Imagine this fall moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again. Walking, hiking, playing with grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
I'm James Palmer.
And I'm Steve Weich, and we're your host of the new podcast, The NFL Report. Twice a week, every week, we'll use our decades of experience covering football to pull back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's my favorite parlay on a 2-game Monday Night Football slate. And this one, if you put 5 on it, and I'm right, it pays out $1,200. It's plus 23.9. That's an aggressive parlay, and I love it. We start with the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers plus the 1.5. Under 38.5, Elijah Moore, anytime touchdown scorer. That by itself is plus 1,900 as a same-game parlay. With no Amari Cooper, or at the very least a limited Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore is going to be the number one target. I don't think he's going to see as much of Patrick Peterson as you think, and I do think he gets in the end zone at some point tonight. Saints-Panthers, give me the Saints. Full-time, halftime, winning at both points. Over 21.5 total points. Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, anytime touchdown scorers. Those pay plus 1,100. So if you take it individually, you would get an 11x your money. If you put them together, it's $23,900. That'll take your $5 wager and pay you $1,200 US dollars. Take those wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football, the NFL, college, all of it with us all year long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here. This afternoon, sunny low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine, mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, a Weather Channel.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Did you know COVID-19 related ER visits are 3 times higher than the flu? Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna, proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The biggest superstars from all genres of music on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas.
Stream it live only on Hulu.
This Friday and Saturday.
10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, third hour of the program on a Monday. It's time for the daily draft. We welcome everybody in, listening on the iHeart Radio app anywhere around the world. Local listeners on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are seen everywhere in the Ingalls studio on your smartphone device. On the YouTubes. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat each and every day. Also, you can still get in on the battle for the belt. We're going to drop the 4 lowest scores from the season. So if you haven't gotten into the contest yet,
it's okay because you still got 2 more weeks.
Right. Still plenty of time
spaces
to get in on the contest. The 2 different The 2 different games. We got the standard game and the eliminator game. I'm just throwing lineups out. I'm not really sure for which contest. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm never going to win.
One of them, real bad.
Yeah, one of them was good, though. Kind of.
I
mean, it was top 10, which, I feel like I'm doing stuff if I'm in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I can end the first slate of games in the top 3, and then never hang on.
And your other lineup might have scored more points than the staff here at lovely iHeartMedia.
Possibly.
Sometimes, if we played in the NFL.
Sometimes you miss. Look, take a swing, sometimes you miss. Get in the battle for the belt. Proceeds from the contest going to Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. Once again, we want to help them in their goal to help as many needy families around the area have gifts under the Christmas tree for their kids come holiday time. So battle for the belt. Get in on that. All the links are in the description of the YouTube video. They're also posted on the front page of our website, thesportsocracy.com. We'll update you in a little bit with the qualifiers from this
I have
week.
them. We'll do it later in the show.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'll give you time to pull that up since I didn't preface that to you during the break there, Jeremy. But we'll let you know who's moving on. Top 3 every week in each game will advance to the finals. So a new batch of qualifiers this week, and we'll give that to you in just a little bit. Daily draft is always stock up, stock down from the weekend on a Monday. I'll take the first pick here because I'm not sure anybody was a real winner with our daily draft on Friday.
No. You know how we were winners? Because we didn't go to any of those games.
I mean, I felt for the most part like this was a week that we all could have skipped football and we would have been fine.
I largely did. I mean, I still watched all day Saturday.
Right. Actually, now that I think about it, well, I did watch all day yesterday, but I skipped all day on Saturday because I went to Bristol for half the day.
I was so mad by the end of the Florida State game that it's just beverage.
Yeah. It was one of those weeks where I was very glad that I was not investing every second of my time in the 3:30 window to watch my number one stock down for the weekend. And it was the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm getting out ahead of this now. Look, I know what you're expecting. You're expecting, Tank's got the big head because they're back-to-back national champions. Listen, the way that this goes is that at any moment, this is going to vanish. Right? At any moment, you're no longer going to be the unbeatable. And that's where Georgia sits right now. I'm not positive. In fact, I'm very leery that this team can be the wire-to-wire national champion contender that they were last year. Like, the defense is still good when they remember to play. The first half against South Carolina was terrible.
Yeah, you got dog-walked.
You
made Spencer Rattler look like what people have told me Spencer Rattler was for a long time.
Spencer was carving them up in the first half. They were moving the ball. It didn't get many stops. They made the adjustments at halftime. And, Kirby gave them the speech, I'm sure, of we're national champions, we need to play like it. And they did for the most part in the second half. However, that offense is still terribly limited. Carson Beck is not
great at football.
Yeah, I was trying to find the word there. I guess because he is good, he's just not great. And I don't look at him and go, that's a championship level quarterback. But I will say this. I never looked at Stetson Bennett as a championship level quarterback either, and he won 2 of them.
Well, the good thing for your Georgia Bulldogs is that I pulled up their schedule moving forward.
Yep.
There's a technical school.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cooking school.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's 2 trade schools, and I don't see any losses. Even playing as badly as you did, Tennessee's not as good as we thought they were. Florida is now somehow ranked, which is hilarious to me. Ole Miss is the only one because they score a lot of points.
Yep.
That's the only scary. But now the SEC championship game, now we could be talking about something very different.
That could be
because
a big problem.
LSU can hurt your feelings if you're not careful.
So going into the season of we're just going to lather, rinse, and repeat with this thing to where we are after 3 weeks of the season, where I have seen you, I'm not going to say legitimately struggle because you've won all of these games comfortably in the end, but you're playing way closer to these teams than you should. And last year's team did this at times. I'll never forget the Missouri game. Jeremy coming in here after the Missouri game was close and go, this team will never win a national championship. It can be corrected, and if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's going to be. I have full faith in Kirby Smart, but also being a Georgia fan for 21 years before the last 2 national championships happened. At any moment, this is going to disappear, and I think we might be sitting at that point with Georgia.
Well, I didn't expect you to do that, so I feel as though I should respond in kind.
Okay.
And I will go stock down with my no longer 2023 national football or football national champion Florida State Seminoles.
No, sir.
All right, you played a team that should have lost to something called a Holy Cross. I don't know what that is, and I don't care. I feel like it's a school that probably spends a lot more time doing things that aren't football than they do football.
Mm-hmm.
You went to their house. They broke a school record for penalties, and you still should have lost. Had they not willfully done everything in their power to beat themselves, you would have lost to that. Your quarterback got hurt at the end of the first half. You looked horrific for the vast majority of this game. And I understand it was Boston College's red bandana game. They're always tough in that. I didn't know that going in. Had I wouldn't have laid Florida State minus 26 because I thought they would have kept it respectable. I never saw this coming. And I am now exponentially more worried about Clemson than I was 96 hours ago.
Yeah.
I still don't think Clemson can beat them. And a lot of Clemson fans, Eric Bradley was the first. I'll give him kudos because I was already thinking it. He sent me a message about the time clock hit zeros of, man, for Clemson, that's about the worst thing that could have happened because that was nothing but smelling salts for Florida State of you can't just show up and beat teams. And I agreed. My next one, it's also a stock down. And I feel like we're both going to have a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that this person's stock could go any lower. It's Brandon Staley. Of all the mind-boggling losses that he's had, I at least saw it coming. And in the pick segment, I said, this feels like a trap. This feels like I should be taking Tennessee. I'm not. I'm mad at myself. And I am mad at myself. I don't know how you salvage this. Short of 4 heroic victories against teams that you shouldn't win, now you've gotten into full lame duck status where I don't feel like you have the authority to fix the things that are going wrong in this locker room. And that almost makes it a moot point, and I don't understand why they don't just fire you now. Do you see where I'm coming from there?
Yeah.
Beating the Minnesota Vikings this week, let's say you do. Let's say you go into Minnesota. That doesn't undo anything that happened this week.
Mm-mm.
You win next week against, what is it, the Raiders?
Yep.
I think they play the Raiders next week.
Yep.
That doesn't undo anything. You're favored. The Chiefs will be favored by 6.5 at home against you.
Sure.
Because you can't stop anybody. And you play the Eagles. You lose those 2 games, you're getting fired 4 weeks from now regardless, and everybody in that building knows it.
If it looks bad.
I don't think it matters if it looks bad. You start 2-4 as a team that had Super Bowl aspirations. We didn't think that, but a lot of their fan base did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a level of boo bird that you don't see with a team that doesn't have a really rabid fan base. I don't know what we're waiting for at this point. I don't see a win for you. I don't see a game, even if you beat Kansas City, that just gets you back to where you started before today.
Mm-hmm. But it's still the claim of things are moving forward. We're improving. If we can pull the win against and I think it's the Bills instead of the Eagles. But if we can pull a win over either of those 2 teams, the Bills or the Chiefs, or the Eagles or the Chiefs.
Cowboys.
Oh, it's the Cowboys. There you go. I knew it was one of the heavy hitters. If you can pull a win in either one of those games, then that gives you the excuse, and because he already has his job on excuses, right?
But
he
I guess
made
that's
the
my
playoffs
point, is
last
that you
year.
already started on the hottest seat in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the Vikings, you beat the Raiders. All right, you beat the Cowboys. Is that saving your job? The next bad loss you catch, you're fired.
If you're the first one to do it, absolutely. If
know that
Dallas goes in there undefeated and you hand them a loss, 100%.
I don't know that I agree with you. Because in theory, let's just say that were to happen. You win the next 3 weeks and then lose to the Chiefs. You're still 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
Then you play the Bears and the Jets and the Lions. You lose any of the 3 of those, and I think he's immediately fired the next day.
Quite possible.
And I don't see a way that you're going to win all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you're just circling the bowl, waiting for the inevitable, which is the worst place to be in high-level NFL football. When you were expected to be a contender, and now we're just waiting on what we know is going to happen. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Yep. I had considered taking Brandon Staley as my number 1, but I I'm glad you took it, so I didn't have to go down that path again.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from our buddy Soaring Eagle, who my thoughts and prayers are with. Here's a list of Broncos players who can stay on defense. Patrick Surtain, Cade Stearns, Frank Clark, in the message. Repeat the line. Offense, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams, Greg Dulcich, Marvin Mims, Quinn Miners. Sean Payton can stay. Everybody else,
go
off of their heads. He sent me a fantastic message about all of the things that had gone wrong in Denver, and I feel bad for you. Mm-hmm. Denver has started exactly how I thought it was going to.
Yep. And I'm glad you did that, because now I don't have to do my analysis for my next pick. Stock down, and it's not just for the Denver Broncos. I'm just going Sean Payton.
Ooh.
There's no question here about Sean Payton. I mean, I don't feel we're not at the point where he's not getting the blame for this at this point. He came in, he's promised to change the culture, and that's going to take time. This is terrible. This is a terrible team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Sean Payton running his damn mouth in the offseason, because he kept saying, Russell's good, right? I'm going to fix it. He never said fix it, because there's nothing to be fixed with Russell. He's still a good quarterback in this league, and I don't have to fix anything.
No, he's not.
Sean Payton said, all of the things, I'm going to change it. We're going to have a good culture here. Still looks like there's some confusion about what that culture is supposed to be, what everybody's role is in the mechanism that is the Denver Broncos.
Sean Payton's doing the exact same thing that countless coaches have done before, that I'm going to bring in my guys that are going to change your culture. You keep the holdovers. So now you've got your rookies like Marvin Mims that you drafted. You got your guys like Adam Troutman that are your guys. And it looks like a divided team, because it looks like you've got Sean's guys and the guys that were forced on Sean. And that's just not a recipe for success.
I'm your huckleberry.
Soaring Eagle again. We appreciate the super chats. We really do. We're poormen, and those are water in the desert.
You remember?
He said, you remember when we were all excited about Vance Joseph coming back as a defensive coordinator? Yeah, me neither. And you shouldn't be. After Sam Howell just beat you like a kettle drum in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Sam Howell, he's good at footballs. And he will be just fine. There's going to be some bumps in the road.
Yep.
But the Washington Commanders, 2-0, baby!
When I saw one of the big plays that popped out to me yesterday, I was watching the red zone. Sam Howell takes off on that. I think it ended up being like a 21-yard scramble or something. And I just kept screaming at my television, please tell me he learned how to slide. Please tell me he learned how to slide. Because that was the one thing that I always knocked him on at Carolina, was just going head first into those hits. So he learned how to slide. So maybe that's one thing that he has been able to pick up in the NFL.
Hey, maybe we could get his slide guy. Maybe he could teach Zach Wilson how to do that.
There you go.
Because he doesn't do it so good. And if he doesn't stop doing that, the Tim Boyle era is coming to New York.
Yep.
And I for as bad as Zach is, I can't take Tim Boyle, New York Jets starting quarterback, because that will take me back to Rick Mirer, New York Jets starting quarterback. And those are skeletons in my closet that need to stay behind that door.
Stock up, stock down from the weekend. When we come back, it'll be my pick again. And hey, why not? We're already here. Let's stay in the state of Colorado. We'll talk about that up next.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Did you know COVID-19 related ER visits are 3 times higher than the flu? Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna, proud sponsor of the iHeart Radio Music Festival.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple of years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
This is Anish Shroff. Join me, Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Sharon Thorsland Monday night as the Panthers host the New Orleans Saints. It's Carolina's home opener. It's Bryce Young's first game in front of the home crowd. Pre-game coverage at 6, kick at 7:15 on the Carolina Panthers radio network.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
I mean, that's where we're at right now with the daily draft. It's just all negative.
There's a lot of sadness, but I'm coming in very short order to say some nice things.
Georgia was the stock down of the week for me, and then Jeremy goes Florida State because our 2 national championship contenders did not look like such this past weekend.
Wednesday, we're really going to dive into more things in a riveting either, neither, both. Which one of us is more sick to their stomach right now? We both have national title contender programs. We both have NFL teams that are going in directions that we were not expecting.
And mine's should be a happier one, but it's not.
It's not.
But it's not. We both went head coaches with our second picks. He goes with Brandon Staley, the obvious. Then Sean Payton, the leader of the god-awful Denver Broncos. And my next stock down, because, I mean, I feel like it was it was the narrative of the weekend. And looking back on it, I'm sure it was fun for y'all who stayed up to watch it. But as someone who did not waste my time to stay up and watch it, I'm glad I didn't. Because I came away with looking at Colorado and what they did against Colorado State going, okay, you're not that great. If you play like that with Colorado State, and they may be a fine Mountain West program, Jay Norvell might be a fine coach. He was good at Nevada, right?
He's a good coach.
You shouldn't do that. You can't do that. You can't come out and look just super dominant in the first 2 weeks of the season, have everybody's eyeballs on you, and then you struggle to beat a team that you should have beat the snot out of. And I get you lost your best player early in the game, but it shouldn't have mattered, right? You wouldn't expect that out of another team that had that much hype. It's got to be a stock down for Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. In the grand scheme of things, was it a win? Sure. Was it a thrilling win? Absolutely. But that's what you're hanging your hat on, and now you're going to be without your star player, Travis Hunter, for a couple of games. And, oh, by the way, those are the next two most pivotal games of your season.
And I think Colorado's fine. They're probably going to lose the next 2 weeks, and I still think this is probably an 8-4, 9-3 team that keeps the trajectory up. I can't go stock down there. I can't agree with you on that one.
Yeah. If it is and if it is an 8-win season, sure, you've already surpassed what the prognosticators were saying you would have at the beginning of the year. We knew that was going to happen anyway. Like after the win over TCU, we knew that they were going to be better. But we let the ball start rolling on that hype train, and then it got smushed.
Well, I mean, it hasn't gotten smushed. They won. And you got to realize it happened so late that that's not going to change anything. Oregon is going to be nanners. And if they find a way to keep that close or even beat them, you think you've seen hype now? Wait till that happens.
Absolutely.
And it will go bananas. All right, I'm gonna cheat a little bit.
Okay. Names on the door?
Names on the door. I'm going to take two teams that I didn't really believe in that have now made believers out of me. It's the Atlanta Falcons and the Los Angeles Rams. Your talent is not good enough for you to be this good. Your schemes make my brain hurt. But, man, you're better than I thought you were. I didn't think Desmond Ridder was an NFL quarterback, and I still don't, but Arthur Smith's finding a way to make it work. They are running the ball down people's throats. Mm-hmm. And Bijan Robinson is a dog. Conversely, you look at the Los Angeles Rams, there's not enough talent on this team for you to contend with the San Francisco 49ers like that. You beat the dust off the Seattle Seahawks last week, who then went into Detroit and beat the Lions. At some point, you have to go, I don't know how this is happening, but it's happening. Right now, top 6 scorers in fantasy football, PPR. Who are the top 6?
I don't know.
Tyreek Hill is 1. Puka Nacua is 2.
He's 2.
The Dallas Cowboys defense is 3. Let's go.
Nice.
This sport is maddening. It's maddening. It's madness. I don't get it. Whatever. We talk 3 hours a day. Guess what? We're going to get some stuff wrong. And this year, it's been a lot.
Yep.
Something I didn't get wrong.
Oh, so you're taking them together.
I am taking them together.
Okay.
I'm taking them as it's the I didn't believe in you pick of teams. My name's on the door. I'm allowed to do that. Mainly because there are still 2 more that I want to get. One of them I know you're not going to take, so I'm going to take one that you might.
Okay.
It's a big old stock down to Justin Fields. You remember all those things I said about him? And then I believed in him because they brought in DJ Moore and they had really stacked this offense in a way that could work for him. It can't. It can't. And I hear a lot of gnashing of teeth about Luke Getsy and how this is on him because there haven't been any designed runs. I gave you a phenomenal group of weapons. If you're an NFL quarterback, you should be able to beat Baker Mayfield and the lowly Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you can't do it because you're not an NFL quarterback. And then if that wasn't bad enough, you come to the podium and basically throw your offensive coordinator under the bus and go, it is what it is. Oh, yeah, let me go to war with that guy. That's the guy I want leading my franchise. And all of you that told me I was wrong, bums, steal my Aaron Rodgers take with Keith Olbermann, which, by the way, was hilarious. But you know what's funny? I don't have a lot of people in my Twitter mentions that are going, oh, yeah, you were right about that. That's weird. You're awful quiet now. You wanted to call me a slew of names over Justin Fields, but now you can't admit that you were wrong. And now, if you have faith in him, you're just a moron. Like, there's no take. There is nothing you could say to me that he is an NFL quarterback. He has shown you that I was right from the get-go. Let's go. I've been waiting to do that all day.
It's taking a little personal there.
No, it's mind-boggling to me how many people that just let things hit them directly in the face and go, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, no, it's fine. Weird. It hasn't been fine. And now you have the weapons, so you have no excuse. None.
Mm-hmm.
And your response to that is why I said from the get-go, I'm out. I'm good. You can do it. And the Chicago Bears will regret trading the number 1 pick because they could have had Bryce Young and all this would be over.
Yep.
And they could have gotten something for Justin Fields then. Now, NFL evaluators look at him almost exactly like Zach Wilson. He's just a little faster. That's it.
Good for you.
That felt good.
That was cathartic, wasn't it?
It was.
All right, next up, my stock up for the week is going to be, well, the team that I had to issue an apology for earlier in the program. I'm just going to double up here for you, Divine. It's the Seattle Seahawks. I was ready. I mean, I was ready. After week 1, just chalk it up. This team sucks. Geno Smith's back, blah, 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 blah. It didn't work out well for me. They come back, bounce back on the road at Ford Field, overtime win. Geno Smith looks, every bit as good as he was last year. 2 touchdowns for Tyler Lockett, including the game winner at the end. Shows a lot of fortitude to be able to go on the road and win, especially after you've been taking lumps all week long. And we know they heard it. We know they responded to it. To me, it says something. It just speaks to Pete Carroll. And when you think he's done, or when you think his team is down, he's going to show you how good of a coach he is to bring him back.
Weird. Pete Carroll's a real good coach.
Yep.
The New York Jets fired him for Pete Carroll. Because we're smart.
For Pete
we do
Carroll?
stuff. Or we fired him for Rich Kotite.
There you
Excuse
go.
me. Fired Pete Carroll for Rich Kotite.
There you go.
We go.
There you go. Very good. And then my last one, I don't really have I want to say something positive here, but I don't really have anything great to focus. Oh, here's one.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Here's one. I'm
Good.
gonna let you have
Feels
whatever you have. I'll take the little heartwarming narrative story from the weekend. Saw this out on Tar Heels Twitter as the entire basketball team for the North Carolina Tar Heels showed up for the game against Minnesota. As you might expect, as the game weighed on, that section cleared out. And in the end, there was only one guy still sitting there where the basketball team's seats were. It was all cordoned off, and one lonely guy sitting there when it got late in the game. And would you like to take a guess who that was?
Who was that?
It was Bo May, Drake's brother, sitting all by his lonesome, but damn it, he was not going to move. He was not going to leave while his brother was out there doing things on the football field. Drake May threw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yes, he did throw 2 picks as well, but
It's okay. It's a good Minnesota defense.
North Carolina got the win 31-13. And I thought it was just a cool picture that floated out there of Bo is going to sit there until the very last snap, and he didn't go join his parents because they were close somewhere. He stayed in the section representing his team, and he was the only damn basketball player that did so. If you're a fan of the school, to me that says something.
My final is I'm going to say it's a stock down, but it's a little more complicated than that. It's Alabama.
Yep.
I don't know what that was, and I hate to be the one to tell you this. I told you so.
You don't have a quarterback.
I told you Jalen Milroe is not a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I told you Ty Buckner is not somebody that you should be. Tyler Buckner is somebody that you should be really up in arms about. And Ty Simpson, I don't know, but I'm going to say the fact he can't beat the other two tells you everything you need to know about him.
Mm-hmm.
You went into South Florida. How in the world you scheduled a game at South Florida? I have no idea. And you played dead heat with a mediocre AAC team for 3 quarters. It took a big play late for you to kind of blow it out, but it was enough for me to go, you don't have it. And now I'm going to go one step further.
Yep.
I've said this before about other coaches, and I've been wrong. I don't think I'm wrong this time. I think this is the swan song for Nick Saban.
Whoa.
I think he is looking around right now. And I've seen it in some of the things he said in press conferences. He apologized to a reporter the other day for something that he had said because he jumped down the throat. I'm just seeing a different version of Nick Saban that doesn't have that edge.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any interest in the NIL thing. He doesn't have any interest really in the transfer portal, and he knows. This is where I think Nick Saban and Bill Belichick kind of split ways, because Bill is really tone deaf when it comes to my way can't work. I think Nick Saban is looking at this going, I don't want to play this game. I have a handful of rings. I will go down as the greatest coach in the history of the sport. I don't have to play your stupid game. I'm done. I'm done. I think he realizes Kirby Smart has passed him, because Kirby Smart is, in terms of right now, not historically, because he is playing the game at a much higher level than Nick Saban is. And Alabama fans, you know I'm right. Colin Green in the comments said he'll be coaching until he's in his coffin. I don't agree with you. Go check his Instagram. Or not his Instagram, go check his Twitter, where he goes on a European vacation. You ever seen Nick Saban do that before? I thought this all season long. I don't think Nick wants to play this game. He doesn't have to. And guess what, Alabama? You'll be fine. It's still the most attractive job in the country. Dabo Swinney would trip over himself to get it.
Yep.
And there are many others. Not going to lie, Kirby Smart might be one of them.
Probably.
You'll be just fine. But I see a coach in Nick Saban that he doesn't have the same edge that he used to. He doesn't. And I think it's because the NCAA and the way that the state of the game as it currently sits is beating him down.
I said probably. I shouldn't have said that. I mean, Kirby's winning national championships at his alma mater. I don't know that he would leave for Alabama.
Apologies. Colin said Nick Saban said he'll be coaching until he's in his grave. He also probably never thought that there would come a time where this became a full arms race, where it was who has the most money and who will chase transfers. You got to understand, Nick was the legend of winning over the parents. He goes into the room, he wins over the parents. That's not the name of the game anymore. That long play with recruits that he's so good at, he still has the number 5 recruiting class in the country. That's with Florida State on the comeback, Georgia, 2-time reigning national champion, Tennessee on the come, all of these places that recruit really, really well. He's still 5 and has probably 20 more guys that are 4 or 5 stars that have Alabama in their final 5. That's what he does. Problem is, that's not the name of the game anymore. He did that, and he's got 3 quarterbacks that are not any good. 2 of them he recruited. 1 of them was a transfer. And at some point, you do come to the point where you go, why am I still doing this? What do I have left to prove?
I mean, I want to know what happened to wide receiver U, right? Alabama was wide receiver U with that string of just unbelievable playmakers year in and year out. He hasn't had that in 3 years. 2 years, I guess.
2 years.
2 years. He hasn't had that.
And he's got young guys that very well could
they be? Because that's my question. Because the last 2 years he's been leaning on transfers to boost up his wide receiver core, and it's just not the same. And especially if you're going to have this amalgamation of grossness that is your quarterbacks, you have to have the Devontae Smiths. You have to have the Calvin Ridleys and the Jalen Waddles, and you have to have those guys to make these guys look better, and you don't have it right now. That's the main problem that he has, is he's missing 2 major positions that for some reason he was hammering year after year for a while, and now he's hit a dry spell.
Well, that can happen over 2 years when you just miss.
Sure, but my question is, did he lose somebody important in the recruiting?
Well, he's been losing. The answer to that is yes.
Right.
But he's had a great ability to replace those guys. Now, I'm just looking at Nick, and all right, so I'm going to go on a little tangent here. Sorry, name's on the door. Think of the greatest college coaches of all time. All right, just fire at me the greatest coaches that you can think of in the history of the sport.
Bear Bryant.
Hung on too long. Next.
Bo Schembechler.
I don't know. That one doesn't.
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer is not really all right. Greatest of all time. You throw me Bo Schembechler and Urban Meyer.
I'm just thinking of names.
Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno were the 2 I was looking for because they're 1-2 and wins.
Oh yeah, those
both
guys
hung on 8 years too long.
Sure,
at least.
Sure.
And I think there's part of Nick that he's really, really cognizant of. Well, why does that happen? Why does it happen that these guys get into their 70s and all of a sudden the game looks like it passed them by?
Because it did.
Because the chances of you spending 40 years of your life being the best in the business at anything are not real high. and technology, and things are going to change, and it's not going to be your way, and you're going to have to acclimate to it. Meanwhile, you got guys like, I don't know, Ryan Day is one off the top of my mind. The game had really changed by the time he got here. This is his wheelhouse. He knows exactly how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But Dabo Sweeney, Kirby Smart, they were still young enough to mold who they were. They weren't coaches that were set in their ways. All of these guys are better at doing this than Nick Saban is, because this isn't Nick's way. And I don't think he'll be the guy that hangs on too long and is going 8-4 and 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what Nick Saban wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at a team that I think at best is 9-3. And I'm not sure that you're going to be any better next year. So just put a pin in that.
Okay.
Remember that I said it. I have a funny feeling this is it.
We are getting closer and closer to the day, but I really don't think it's coming anytime soon. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here. This afternoon, sunny low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine, mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Hey, this is Mike Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. You heard that right. The Fantasy Footballers have officially entered the Dynasty space. Every week, we bring you the same in-depth analysis and entertainment you've come to expect from the Fantasy Footballers, only now it's from the Dynasty perspective. Join me and the rest of the crew every Wednesday for a new episode. Listen to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What makes Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos so good? Is it the shredded marinated all white meat chicken? Well, yeah, obviously. But it's also the 3 amazing dipping sauces to choose from: spicy ranch, warm nacho cheese sauce, and house-made daily guacamole. Now, if you need a third reason, their white corn tortillas are fried to golden perfection, which everyone knows is the best kind of perfection. Order rolled chicken tacos on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip for 2-pack or 2 dips for 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah, let's go to California, where stupid criminals from California will make sure that this segment never dies.
ever.
Daytime home invasion in South L.A. 4 suspects taken into custody on Friday afternoon after they broke into the home. The victim called 911 around noon to report the intruders, and police said that the suspects tied him up as they made their way through the home. Officers quickly responded to the scene and were able to apprehend 2 of the 4 suspects. A third suspect, who was armed with a hammer, according to police, jumped from the roof of the building. He was shot by police shortly after. Police said he remains hospitalized in critical condition. The 4th suspect was then later caught by a canine officer. Now, I don't know what the response time average is these days for the LA police, but it used to be, you could call them and they'd show up 3 days later. This one was easier because the house that they broke into and tied the guy up was 3 blocks away from the police station. He called the cops, and that's why they were, we're Johnny on the spot, because we're right around the corner.
Right, it's right there. He's doing it right there.
Just, hey, wait a minute, 33rd and Central Avenue. I can see it right there. There's one of them now. Don't do crimes. If you're going to do crimes, well, don't do crimes. But definitely don't try to do it in the back door of the police station.
I feel like in your button bar over there, you have a slew of fight songs. It's songs that are played by bands at football games.
I do.
Could you cue one of those up for me?
Sure. How about the best one ever?
All right. Going to Birmingham, Alabama. Got a football game. Got Minor High School and Jackson Olin High School. Game's over, but the bands are still playing. Trying to get everybody to leave. All right, the game's over. Why are you still playing? So they go to the respective band directors of both schools. Jackson Olin stops playing. Minor responded. They just keep on going, and they will not stop. To the point that Johnny Mims, the director of the band, had to be tased and arrested because he wouldn't stop his band from playing. I cannot for the life of me figure out, but for why did you do that? Are you trying to prove a point of some kind? How does that go? Hey, we're done. We're not done, baby. This is our time to shine. The football team gets all the love, but the band is just out here doing stuff. That might be the weirdest crime I've ever seen. He refused to put his hands behind his back, so they tased him. They treated him on site, took him to UAB Medical Center, and then they took him to jail.
Yep.
Because he did crimes.
Yep.
Which is what you ought not do that.
Because here's the thing, as I can only imagine, was you're hanging out having this marching band battle. Meanwhile, I don't know if it works this way in, where was this, Alabama?
Birmingham, Alabama.
I don't know if it works the same way in Alabama as it works here, but that's public property, right? That's a public school system. And when the sheriffs say, it's time to go, it's time to go. We're closing off the things. We're making sure everybody's gone. You got to go. You got to get to getting, right? So, of course, at that point, when you have refused the order from a lawful officer, you're going to get tased.
There was also an altercation between Mims, Birmingham City School System security personnel, and the police. So all I can imagine is that we got the old cops that don't get to carry a bang-bang, and maybe they had a little had a little beef, decided to go up against the ones that do get to carry bang-bangs. Bad call. Be good to your local officers. They take care of you. That is one of the dumber stories I think I've ever told.
Yes. Yes, indeed. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
There's one team we still hadn't talked about yet, and I think we have to when we come back.
Got to talk about the kitty cats next.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the
season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under. Like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
This Saturday, join global citizens, artists, world leaders, corporate leaders, and philanthropists for Global Citizen Festival 2023, starring Red Hot Chili Peppers, Miss Lauryn Hill, Jungkook, Anita, and more. Watch live on the Global Citizen app. Listen on Global Citizen Radio with the free iHeartRadio app. And join the global movement ending extreme poverty this Saturday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville. We have not talked about the Cincinnati Bengals. 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals. Has not started well for you. Has not started well for the offense. The question I have is, what's the problem?
The offensive line's awful. I don't know what to do with that, but outside of Orlando Brown, nobody's even been passable, let alone good.
Mm-hmm.
The guards have been horrific. They haven't run the ball well, and yet I still look at this and go, you're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, T. Higgins, if you played him yesterday, and trust me, I said it multiple times in our fantasy show, which you should watch every Sunday morning, 10 a.m., he was fine. The thing I can't figure out is what has happened to Jamar Chase. This is now 2 weeks where he has been almost completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a banged-up Baltimore secondary. You should have been able to do things. What would scare me, you let Baltimore just run it down your throat, and it didn't really matter who it was. Gus averaged 6 yards a carry. Justice Hill, I mean, he didn't do much per carry, but he still just grinded you down.
Mm-hmm.
I am more nervous now than I was.
Okay.
I'm still not sound the alarms because I'm looking at the schedule going, yeah, I do think that Rams team is better than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
I still struggle to believe they're going to come into Cincinnati and beat you. Then you get 2 on the road with the Titans and Cardinals. You should be able to get this to 3-2. But then the schedule cranks up aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
And they go Seahawks at the 49ers, Bills, the Texans, at the Ravens, Steelers at the Jaguars. That is almost as evil of a 7-game stretch as you could possibly have. And if you don't get this corrected, you could miss the playoffs.
Yep. I agree with you, but look, when we talked about this on Friday, we talked about this very thing. What's going to happen? What are your thoughts going to be about the Cincinnati Bengals if they lose to the Baltimore Ravens? You said, and I may be paraphrasing here, but you said you were at a 2 currently, and if they lost to the Ravens, you'd be at a 3. Are you still at that little smidge of an uptick, or is it more than that for you now?
No.
Are you at a 5?
I'll split the difference.
So you're at a 4?
I'm about a 4.
Okay.
I'm about a 4. I do have fears with that Rams front this week.
Mm-hmm.
I look at what the Titans did. I guess that's where I'm at is, yes, I do hate that you've lost 2 divisional games. That really gives me pause for concern. Where I'm going to get markedly more concerned is if you lose to the Rams or Titans. Not because they're terrible, but because you have exponentially better talent than them, and you should be able to beat them.
Yep.
You lose one of those, and now we're getting into the, okay, was this some smoke and mirrors with Zach Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Because the offense has been clunky. Outside of T. Higgins, they didn't do anything consistently well yesterday.
How much are you worried about the injury, the calf injury that keeps getting irritated by Joe Burrow?
He has not been good.
No, he hasn't. I mean,
and there's got to be
the efficiency.
There has to be an explanation for that. The line hasn't been great. It's never been great. That's always been a problem.
Mm-hmm. But maybe Joe was more comfortable with it because he was healthy.
And that could be it.
I got a bum
know.
wheel here, and now it's making me nervous. Now I don't want to injure this thing more, so maybe I'm staying in the pocket more. You all know me. I'm not the next-gen stats guy, so I don't know if the stats back me up on that, but is Joe Burrow being less mobile than he was because of the injury? Is that even part of the calculation here? Or is this like last year where they just struggled coming out of the gate? They haven't got their feet underneath them because he missed all of training camp. Remember, he missed all of training camp last year with the appendectomy problem.
Well, the thing that would concern me is I'm not one of those guys that goes, "Oh, that was a stupid play call." It's when you get into the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
This is now 2 weeks in a row. It was 35-17 pass to run in week 1. It was 45-15 this week. Look, Joe is a prodigious quarterback. He's one of the most talented guys in the league. You can't be that unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't be, because you're basically tipping off exactly what you're doing. So you're always behind the chains, which seems to be a problem with them, or has been for the last 2 weeks. And then when I know exactly what you're doing, it makes it a lot easier to defend you. Now, the question is, does that fall on Zach Taylor? Does it fall on Joe Burrow? Is Joe trying to do too much? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those very few times that I watch it, and it doesn't look right, but I don't know why. I mean, yeah, there was some pressure yesterday. That's not why you lost. Evan Doyle said that in YouTube comments. The O-line's not been good, but it's not why you're losing. That's my problem. I can't figure out why you're losing. It's all clunky, but I can't pinpoint, oh, Joe's just been bad, or Jamar Chase has been bad, or the line's been bad, or the defense has been bad. It's all been one great big clunky fest.
Right.
And I don't know how you fix that. Now, like I said, you got 3 games here that you should be able to win. I'm not saying you're going to. I'm saying you should be able to win.
Mm-hmm.
And like Stephen Tao said, you got a lot of dump-offs, a lot of just take the check down because you don't seem to be winning down the field. That shouldn't be inconsistent. T. Higgins should be winning consistently against number 2 coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, as the second best receiver in the NFL, should be consistently winning against number 1 coverage. It's not happening. So something is off. I refuse to believe that the Monstars showed up and made everybody touch the Space Jam ball and just all of a sudden none of you were as good as you were. That's where I look at a team like Cincinnati and go, I'm not as worried as I would be, say, with the Chargers. This is now consistent. And I think they'll get it right, but I'm way more worried now than I was a week ago.
Cincinnati started 0-2 last year as well. And you may say, well, 0-2, but these are division games. We started 0-2 in the division last year, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they made the conference championship last year. It can be fixed.
No doubt.
So there's no panic that should be happening right now, in my opinion, from Cincinnati Bengals fans. You lose one of those games you're supposed to win, then maybe we'll talk.
A little bit of panic.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Tomorrow at noon, join us right back here on ESPN Asheville and on the YouTubes. It'll be a Power Rankings Tuesday. We'll see you then.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'll take this any day, and I'll take what's coming this week any week. I mean, this is going to be one of the better weeks we've had probably since last spring. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but you get the idea, the excitement I've got about what's coming up here. This afternoon, sunny low 70s. Tonight, 50 degrees, some spots in the 40s. Little patchy fog by tomorrow morning, then sunny later, 76. More sunshine, mid-70s, upper 70s for the rest of the week. Ray Stajic, the Weather Channel.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. N-A-V.
This is the Adam Gold Show.
Tailback is Noel. Keeps it on the left side. Found an opening. Has seen at the 35-40. Down left side 50. Wide open field at the 40. To the Pirate 30. He's gone. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Nate Noel.